Hello once again, Broncos fans. Joe Kenward from the Eagle 94-1 getting set for Game 2 of the WHL's Eastern Conference quarterfinal series between the Swift Current Broncos and the visiting Calgary Hitmen. In case you didn't catch Game 1, Calgary pulling out a 4-2 win here at the Civic Center. Broncos had a great start, led 2-0 after one on goals from Ben Andres and Tim Smith, but Calgary had 2 goals in the second period from Tyler Beachy and Owen Fussy. One of those came on the late second period power play, and then Wade Davis scored in an early third period man advantage, and Frederick Sjostrom a couple minutes after that scored a shorthanded marker, the final goal on the night for the Hitmen, who now have home ice advantage in this best of 7 series. The Broncos, though, don't think they're out of the woods just yet, because remember, last year in rounds 1 and 2, they lost the opening games of their series with the Brandon Wheat Kings and the Kootenay Ice, and we all know what happened going to the Eastern Conference Final, where they eventually lost in 6 to the Red Deer Rebels. Steven Spencer is expected to be back in the lineup tonight for the Broncos. He missed Game 1 with a sore knee. Broncos will have Todd Ford back in between the pipes. Sebastian LaPlante will get the call in goal for Calgary. Outstanding in Game 1, making 30 saves for his first ever WHL victory. So expect a good, entertaining contest with maybe a little bit more emotion than what we saw here in Game 1. First period action is on the way next between the Broncos and Hitmen in Game 2 of Round 1 of the WHL playoffs. You're watching Broncos hockey live on Shaw. Civic Center, everyone. Joe Kenward, John Keane for the Eagle 94-1, scbroncos.com, and tonight for Shaw Television. This series is in favor of the Calgary Hitmen, 1-0. The Broncos, now who have lost home ice advantage, will start Todd Ford again in goal tonight. He made 20 saves in his first ever WHL start, which was a loss last night in Game 1. For the Calgary Hitmen, what a debut in the playoffs for Sebastian LaPlante. He made 30 saves and was the game's first star. At ice level right now, presentations being made by a number of local charities as Tim Smith was able to do a lot of goal scoring this year for the Broncos, and every goal that he scored, a good chunk of money was donated to many worthy charities in the Southwest.
Yeah, Patterson Grain Terminal, a part of all this, and Tim Smith, every goal he scored went to charity this year and on home ice anyways, and Timmy Smith now needs some goals here in the postseason to get the Broncos back on even terms.
Their opening goal last night in their 4-2 loss. Tim Smith, the leading point getter out of all current WHL players when it comes to postseason action. He's going to start up front on a line with Brent Twardick and Ben Andres. Steven Spencer, Kevin Seibel will start on D for the Broncos. Up front for Calgary, Tyler Beachy, Fred Sjostrom, Lance Morrison. On defense, it will be Dan Ehrman and their captain, Rod Sarich. Tonight's referee is Mark Hulshoff. The linesmen are Paul Brunin and Daryl Cameron. Hulshoff drops the puck at center ice, and we're underway with period number 1. Broncos, who move left to right on your radio dial, have to get a loose puck through center in front of the penalty box doors. Andres throws his man hard to the boards, that being Tyler Beachy. Calgary still gets possession and has a chance to dump it in deep. Behind the plate, Tim Smith is working over Sjostrom as the puck is down in the Broncos' corner. Seibel will golf it up the wall. Tim Smith collects, brings it back to his own face-off circle, and then will clear it up ice. Andres taking a pass through the middle, hits the blue line, goes wide left, drops it far boards to Twardick, snaps it towards the net, but it hit a leg and goes behind the goal of LaPlante. Tim Smith will find it, off to the far corner, he'll take it. Get cross-checked off the puck by Beachy, but it's kept in the blue line by Spencer. Puck comes down to the face-off circle. Beachy will intercept for Calgary and move it out of his own zone. Spencer will quickly float it back in deep as Spencer was knocked to the ice by Sjostrom. Broncos make changes as Calgary, trying to catch them napping, is whistled down on a 2-line offside. Broncos make a couple of notable changes for tonight's hockey game. You mentioned the name Steve Spencer. He's back in the lineup. Torrey Wheat is also back in after missing Game 1 with the flu. Scratches tonight, all healthy for the Broncos. Travis Freely, Jason Roberts, and Luke Hunter. Jeff Harvey still nursing that bout of mono, we should mention. For Calgary, they go with the exact same lineup. Brian Martin, third-string goalie, is not in the game as Ian White's point shot is deflected wide. Get to those other Calgary scratches in a moment. Jaffrey on the end boards in the Hitman zone. Cycles it behind the net. Intercepting the puck, though, was Michael Bubnick, and Calgary's able to get it free to center. Taking it through the middle is Brandon Siegel. Got to the blue line. That's as far as he'll take the puck because Hebert took it away from him and immediately dumps it down ice. Sebastian LaPlante will leave it behind his own net for Rob Smith. Drops it on his end boards for Mike Egner. Return it back to the far wall, and Smith will have a chance to get it out of his own zone. He's tied up on the first chance. Now he'll get it through center for Michael Bubnick. From well out, he'll slap it past the goal of Ford. Puck off the right wall for Siegel. Tried a shot from a bad angle, but it hit the leg of Mitch Love. That allows Hebert a chance to get control and get it up ice. Paul Albers taking control for the Hitmen just inside of his own blue line. Throws it up ice to Bubnik. Through the center circle for Boychuk from well out. Whistles it high and wide. Puck rolls to the far boards in the Broncos end. Hebert hit the leg of a hole shot, but it still comes to center. Bubnik quickly will go the other way as both teams now make changes here. Nearly 2 minutes gone in period number 1. Broncos and Hitmen are still scoreless. Calgary trying to get it deep into the Broncos territory. Wilkowski taking it off to the right corner boards. Spins up the wall. Had a wrist shot hit off a leg. Wilkowski gets it back. Trying to come in front. Wilkowski lost the puck as he was hooked up. There's going to be a penalty coming up here to the Broncos as Boychuk at the right faceoff circle as a slap shot go wide. Calgary with the extra attacker on the ice. It's Beachy who gets the puck high in the slot. Right point to Boychuk. Left side of the blue line for Albers. The slap shot deflected into the goal, and then it's covered up by Ford. And we'll get the whistle, but the Broncos are going to go short-handed here as it was Chad Wilkowski doing a great job to draw a hooking penalty, and Calgary were a perfect 2 for 2 last night. Go to work on the power play for the first time this game.
Well, he did all that work, and Mitch Love, I think, is getting the penalty indeed as he called down Wilkowski right in the slot area. Wilkowski with some hard work down there to get that scoring chance, and Mitch Love, who had a strong game last night, hauls him down and will sit for 2.
So Calgary, who had the best power play percentage of the regular season, goes to work on the man advantage for the first time tonight. But Brent Twardick will win a draw in his own zone. Ales Cherney from on his end wall will smack it off the glass. Davis blocks it down to the left point, only momentarily as Andrus will hack it down ice. Andrus works up front with Twardick. Aaron Rome is on defense with Cherney. Calgary up front will have Lance Morrison, Brandon Siegel, and Tyler Beachy. As well, they'll have Fred Sjostrom and Wade Davis on the ice. Sjostrom through the middle for the Hitmen. Dumps it in deep. Puck rolls to the left corner boards in the Broncos zone. Rome gloves it out of the air. Trying to move it up his wall. Was stripped off the puck by Siegel. Taking it behind the goal of Ford. Now leaves it for Morrison. To the far corner for Sjostrom. Had a fan pass get to the point, but Beachy will take it. Then he gave it away to Cherney. Cherney's attempt to clear is blocked. Beachy right point. Nice pass down low to Morrison. It rolled through his skates. He'll get it back though to the right wall for Sjostrom. Top of the right face-off circle. Middle of the blue line for Beachy. Wrist shot blocked down. Got it back to the crease, and Siegel or Morrison make that. Couldn't get a shot on that. Andrus will hack it off the glass, and this will roll all the way down ice.
Yeah, you look at this Calgary power play. They're always dangerous wherever that puck is on the ice. Lots of traffic in front of the net, and they have a way of finding that goal.
And 5 forwards on the ice, including Davis, who normally is a defenseman, but they've been playing him a lot on forward the tail end. He got it to the zone, but Nathan Smith takes it away and will backhand it down ice. 45 seconds to go, and the penalty to Mitch Love. 16:25 to go in period 1. Broncos and Hitmen are still scoreless. Calgary out shooting Swift Current 3-0. Fussy to the zone left side. Slap shot. Whistles wide on the short side. Puck will carry him off the corner all the way back down to the Calgary end. Racing back after it is Sarich. Boychuk will take the pass to the far board. Spencer pinches in deep. Throws it to the crease. LaPlante, alertly enough, steers it to the corner. But Jaffrey will backhand it onto the end boards. Taking control back to the right corner is Nathan Smith. He's tied up in skates along the wall. Sarich will have a chance to move it up ice. But Nathan has him tied up and moves it down to the corner. Nathan will now take it behind the net. Try to kill off some more time. Does a good job to rag it off to the far corner. And he'll hack it in deep. And that's pretty much going to do it here to the Calgary power play. And the fans here at the Civic Center respond as the penalty to Mitch Love is now out. Hitmen still fire the puck in deep. And in fact, they're going to be whistled down for icing. Let's take a timeout. Broncos and Hitmen are still scoreless on the Eagle. 94-1. Tim Smith takes the puck back inside of his own territory. Long cross-ice pass through the middle, finds Twardick. Backhands it to the Calgary blue line, but Rob Smith will then get it back through center ice. Twardick trying to tie it up in skates outside of the Calgary zone. Puck comes to Tim Smith. Throws it to the center circle of Aaron Rome. This time the Broncos get it onto the end wall. Egner tied up by Andrus. Bad angle shot off the wall, steered down by LaPlante. Calgary will get control and fire it through center ice. Wes Rippon in front of the Broncos bench. Taps it off the wall. It will go in deep into the Broncos end. Rome off his end boards. Can't get it to Andrus off the wall. Andrus will then get the free puck back out to the boards and get it free to center ice. We hit the 5-minute mark here, period 1. Broncos and Hitmen are still scoreless in game 2. This best-of-7 series. Calgary leading it 1-0. Egner moving the puck through center ice for Kyle Ainsley. Put it back to his own zone for Rob Smith. Now he'll go cross ice in front of his own bench to Egner. Pass up the middle. Got through the skates of Rippon, and Cherney will have a chance to fire it back in deep. Andrus chases it down. He's got Dahl in front. His pass, though, was blocked. Puck finds the back to the corner for Andrus. Kicking it down to the end boards. Andrus cycles it beside the net for Dahl. Centered it blindly in front. Nobody there is there for the Broncos, and Rippon's allowed to move it up ice. Passes it right wing through center for Kyle Ainsley. He's ridden off the puck by Mitch Love on a good defensive play. And James Hebert will clear it out of his own zone. Dustin Friesen, left side of the red line. Got it into the Calgary end. Quickly, Sarich will bat it off the boards. Back to center ice. Ian White through the middle for Swift Current. Snaps it high and deep into the Calgary end. Hebert going off to the far boards alongside of Dan Ehrman. Hebert trying to get control. Pass to the right point. It'll get to the blue line. White will be able to keep it in. Move it right boards to Dahl. Try to cycle it down low. He'll find Hebert to the blue line. Through it to the slot. No one there for Swift Current. And Beachy's allowed to clear it out of his own zone. Calgary chasing it back into their own end after the Broncos flip it in deep. Schustrom gets a pass through center ice. First round draft pick of the Phoenix Coyotes. Goes up the right wing to Tyler Beachy. Snapshot, pad save, big rebound, steered aside by White. And the puck will get across the blue line back through center ice. Schustrom going back on the attack for Calgary. Gave the puck away inside the blue line to White. And the Broncos D-man will clear it out of his own territory. Morrison will then get control back for Calgary. Feed Beachy will snap it into the far corner in the Broncos zone. Love goes to it with Schustrom behind him. The two number 21s will lose the puck. Jaffrey puts it behind his own net to Hebert. Had the puck roll away from him. Beachy cycles it down low. Fussy goes after it, as does Schustrom. Fussy to the far corner, tied up. But he got the puck back from Schustrom behind the net. Fussy swept away off his stick by White, but not out of the zone. Albers left boards, gave it away to Hebert, and he'll clear it to the blue line. Albers does a good job to keep it in deep. Love will race after the rolling puck to his far corner. Was tied up, then fed the puck behind the net to White. He'll likely see a spot up ball to scoop it out of his own zone. 12:44 to go in period one. A good fast flowing period at that, as the Broncos and Hitmen are still in a scoreless tie. Albers in his own corner. Rattles it behind his own net to Johnny Boychuk, and he'll flip it through to center ice. Bubnik was knocked down, lost the puck, and that allows Rome to touch it in deep, but the Broncos were in early and are called on the offside. Let's take a more in-depth look at one of the players in this evening's hockey game here at the Centennial Civic Center.
Download player data. A Lego Agro instant player profile.
Swift Current Bronco goaltender number 34, Todd Ford. Ford, the 17-year-old tender from Calgary, is the future and the present for the club in goal. Ford in his draft year is making some noise this season. At just over 6'4", Todd is the tallest goaltender in the WHL. Ford includes eating craft dinner as part of his pregame routine. That's another Lego Agro instant player profile.
John Dahl through the middle for the Broncos, snaps it into the Calgary end. LaPlante behind his own goal. We'll leave it for Rob Smith. Got tied up and gave the puck away. Richards looking down low, couldn't find Friesen with a pass. Puck escapes to the far wall, and Smith will have a chance to clear it up ice. Chad Wilkowski will skate it out of his own zone through center. Hit the blue line right side. Stop inside the zone. Snap a shot past the net. Puck rolls free to the near corner. Wade Davis will backhand it on the end boards. Rome intercepts the puck, trying to clear it out. Can't do it. Smith can't get it away from Friesen, and now the Broncos will have a chance to get it back in deep. Dahl's dump in, though, was blocked by Egner. Puck comes back to Dahl through center ice. Gets some space down the left wing. Tim Smith follows up, takes the feed, going around the D-man, coming in front of the backhand. He put it just wide. Tim Smith, right corner, looking out in front for Seibel with a snapshot. Pat save. Dahl with a rebound, and post, he scores! John Dahl gets his first ever playoff goal in the Western Hockey League, and the Broncos take the lead.
Ball number 14, Timmy Smith makes that play because he gained the zone, some speed, and really led the way. Johnny Dahl brought it in, but Tim Smith worked himself in on a nice backhand attempt. The rebound went to Kevin Seibel. Seibel took the shot. The rebound to Johnny Dahl, who shoveled it home underneath Sebastian LaPlante. The first real scoring chance for the Broncos pay off, and they have a 1-0 lead here. 8 minutes and 27 seconds into the first.
What a great play, though, by Dahl to get the puck. It was a very difficult angle to score on a backhand, but he beat the Calgary netminder, and the Broncos, for the second time this series, open the scoring in the Civic Center. We'll get to the call on the goal in a minute. Meantime, Sarich will fire it in deep. Puck rolls to the left corner for Wes Rippon. Broncos lose possession on the end boards, but let's get the call nonetheless.
The playoffs, number 18, John Dahl. Assisted by number 5, Kevin Seibel. And number 14, Tim Smith. That's John Dahl His first of the playoffs from Kevin Seibel and Tim Smith. Time of the goal, 8:27.
Broncos get the puck back in deep in the Calgary corner. Ehrman will get possession. Give it away at the blue line to Andres, but Calgary is able to intercept the puck and then get it back up ice. Jared Carly in front of his own bench. Backhands it high and deep into the Broncos zone, allowing his team to make full-scale changes. Broncos will skate back through center, but behind the play, we're going to have some offsetting penalties. Andres is going to go to the box with Wes Rippon. Will play 4-on-4 when we come back. The Broncos and Calgary Hitmen are in the first period, and the Broncos are leading Calgary 1-0 here on the Eagle, 94-1. Playing 4-on-4 for the first time in this series as Ben Andres and Wes Rippon are down in the penalty box for roughing and cross-checking minors respectively. Spencer trying to take it off his end boards, leaves it now to the corner for Ian White. Cycles it up the far boards, and Nathan Smith will skate it to center ice. Holding through the middle, gets some space down the right wing, gains the blue line, got it to Jason Jaffrey, passes it to Spencer, left face-off circle, makes a nice move. Spencer, wrist shot stopped by LaPlante through traffic, and the puck will roll off to the far boards. Brandon Siegel will collect. Broncos applying some good pressure here in the past couple of minutes. They're well deserving to be in a 1-0 lead on top of Calgary at this point. Beachy will flip the puck high through center ice. Seibel knocks it down, will take it back to his own territory and have a chance to backhand it up the middle. Puck rolled away from Nathan Smith and will get in deep into the Calgary end. Now the Broncos will make some changes as Beachy starts out from his own blue line. Left wing at center, snaps it high and deep into the Broncos zone. Now Calgary will make some changes here on the go with 9:28 to go in period one. Broncos on top of the Hitmen, 1-0. Ian White clears it up the wall to Brent Tordick. Nice touch pass to Hebert, 2-on-1 with Seibel. Hebert right face-off circle with a wrist shot up high. The save comes to LaPlante, and he'll get the face-off in his own zone as Mark Hulshoff is barking to players here, and I think cooler heads are going to prevail, but the Broncos have really gotten some life after getting the opening marker in this game.
Well, 4-on-4 situation there, and all Brent Tordick did was just throw that puck right off the boards to James Hebert that was already near center ice, and bang, a 2-on-1 just like that. James Hebert went for the shot on goal and hit LaPlante right in the old chest protector, right in the Hitmen crest, and he was taken down hard to the ice, and he's okay. He's up now. Now the Broncos, you have to be encouraged with the last few minutes here, taking over after that goal by John Dahl at the 8:27 mark.
Face-off will come up to the glove side of LaPlante. Tordick, Tim Smith up front, Rome, Cherney on D. Tordick will take it against Michael Bubnick. Tordick wins the face-off. Right boards, taking it as Rome. Moves it near corner for Tordick. Back up the wall. He'll try to come free to the slot. Was tied up and stripped off the puck by Wade Davis, who will clear it out of his own zone. Puck knocked to the Broncos blue line. Rome knocks it down, fires it back up ice. Tim Smith gets wide left, trying to throw it in front. His pass was blocked by Bubnick. Smith will get it back off the left boards. Backhand it to the left point for Cherney with a slap shot. Blocker save. A good one at that by LaPlante, but it goes to the corner. Sarich tying his man up, falls to the ice. Coming over to help out was Bubnick. He'll get up and to his feet, get the puck to his stick and move it up ice. Davis, left wing pass to the zone for Fussy. Chases a loose puck down to the near corner. Rome has him tied up and finds the puck back onto the stick of Cherney. Cherney will race out of his own zone. Up the right wing to the goal scorer, Dahl. Drops a pass for Cherney inside the blue line, right side. Crisscrosses with a snapshot wide of the net. Dahl takes control off the right boards. Had the puck taken away from him, and Davis will clear it out of his own zone. Now we're back to 5-on-5 with 8:20 to go in period one. Broncos take it up ice. Friesen, left side of the zone. Puts it into the right-hand corner. Going after it is Dahl. Nice pass to the right point for White. One-timer steered off the side of the pad by LaPlante. Friesen back onto the end boards for Aaron Richards. Richards tied up along the glass by Boychuk and by Morrison. But Richards still hanging in there. Kicks it free behind the net to Dahl. Down low looking for Friesen. Puck rolled away off his stick as he was alone in the slot. And Schustrom brings it back the other way for Calgary. Schustrom trying to get around Spencer, who takes him to the corner. Schustrom doing well to get free. And now he lost the puck to White. He'll clear it up to the blue line and out through center ice. Egner will go back after it to his own zone. Throw it now in front of his own bench to Rob Smith. Pass up the middle for Morrison. Touched off his stick by Friesen. Following up is Egner. Now to the Broncos zone left side. Slap shot, pad save on the short side by Ford. Seibel chips it off the wall, and Richards will hack it down ice. Icing, though, will be waved off. LaPlante out of his crease, leaves it corner boards for Egner. Backhands it up the wall, and the Broncos are able to knock it down. Hebert coming in front, snapshot, hit a leg, bounces across the crease to the corner. Hebert behind the net, finding Nathan Smith. Smith in front, couldn't find Jaffrey, but it comes to the right point for Seibel. With a slap shot, put it wide on the short side. Puck rolls hard to the left point. Rome can not keep it in as it rolls through his skates. Now he has it under his glove, trying to get it back in deep. He's cross-checked by Morrison right in front of the referee, and that's going to be a penalty. Broncos have the extra attacker on the ice. They'll have a chance to get it in deep into the Calgary end. Jaffrey will backhand it right to the goal. LaPlante will cover it up. And the Broncos, who are buzzing here in the first period, will go to work on their first power play 13 minutes in.
Aaron Rome right near the center ice, kept the puck in, tried to anyways. It came out over the line, and then that's when Morrison cross-checked him from behind. And we'll play the Raymond's Place City Walk power play contest for Rose Locker of Swift Current. Rose, Broncos score. You and yourself lunch for two at Raymond's Place City Walk in the Wheatland Mall. Joe, power play has to get going here for the Broncos early on.
1 for 6 they were last night. Penalty kill for Calgary was excellent. Morrison officially in the blocks for interference. 13 minutes exactly in. Twarduk wins a draw. Right point for Nathan Smith. Left point, his pass found White, but it bounced away from him. Then he shuffles it back to the end boards. Jaffrey goes after with Boychuk behind him. Jaffrey was high stick by Sarich. Referee didn't see it. Puck allowed to go to the far corner. Jaffrey tied up. Lost the puck now to Tyler Beachy. And on a backhand, he'll scoop it high all the way down ice. Nathan Smith works the point with Ian White. First time in a long time that we've seen 4 forwards on the power play for the Broncos. But that's what they work with here to start off this first man advantage of the game. Twarduk, right side through center. Backhands it in deep. Tim Smith couldn't get it in deep. And then the Broncos saw the puck hit someone in the Calgary bench when it was cleared back through center. And that's why plays whistled down.
You know, you noticed the Calgary Hitmen penalty kill tonight. Very aggressive up there in the point, man. They have Nathan Smith back there in the point, and they know that he's not usually up there in that situation. So they're really pressuring Smith and Ian White back there to make a play quickly. And, well, so far it's been effective.
Twarduk will take the draw. The Calgary side of the red line against Tyler Beachy. Twarduk will win it cleanly. Nathan Smith, long cross-ice pass in front of the penalty box doors, finds White. He'll fire it in deep. Sarich, right corner board, scoops it up the wall, not out of the zone. Nathan on the right side, trying to get it down off the wall for Tim Smith. Pass was blocked, and Sarich has space down the left wing. Hits the blue line. Stopped at the blue line by Nate Smith. Then he got it back, and his wrist shot was steered through a screen by Ford. Tim Smith takes it back to his end boards, gave it away to Beachy. Beachy off the left wall, taking it back through center ice to kill off a few seconds on the clock. He'll fire it all the way back to his own zone, and quickly Boychuk will dump it back down ice. Under a minute to go here in the penalty to Lance Morrison. Under 6 minutes to go here in the first. Broncos on top of Calgary 1-0. Tim Smith, left wing pass to center for Ian White. Smacks it in deep to the Calgary end. Puck rolls free to the left corner. Hebert takes it loose behind the net. Lost it to Boychuk. They'll fire it off the glass, and will get past White at the blue line down ice. Beachy and White in a foot race. Beachy hooks him up, and that's going to be a penalty called, as I think White might also get a minor as well, as Beachy hooking his man up, but White will get the tripping penalty, so we're going to play 4-on-4, and that's a tough break for the Broncos, but probably the right call, because Beachy did that old clutch and grab move, if you will, got tripped up after he had got away towards the net.
Well, you can picture it at home as Ian White in pursuit of the puck with Beachy trailing, and Beachy with the hook to get past Ian White, sort of a propel move there to get by him, and then when Beachy got by him, White had to trip him up, so the only reason White tripped him is because he was hooked up, and we'll continue here. Broncos on the power play for another 32 seconds.
14:28, the time of these minor penalties. Broncos continue to work on the 5-on-4. Draw to the left of Ford. Jaffrey will take it against Michael Bubnik. Jaffrey wins the draw cleanly. Cherney will take it free behind his own net. Now leave it on the end boards, and James Hebert will start out for Swift Current. Through center with control. Hebert's pass up the middle finds Jaffrey to the blue line. Now to the left faceoff circle. Jaffrey snapshot, hit a stick of Sarich, bounces high behind the net. Andrus taking it to the right side boards for James Hebert. Hebert off the wall, looking for someone to pass to. Throws it to the middle of the blue line for Cherney with a slap shot, hit a body, and then deflects high to the corner. Hebert tracks it down, taking it back up the right wall. Finds Cherney at the right side of the blue line. Back to the near boards for Hebert. Hebert faking a shot, now steps to the faceoff circle. Wrist shot hit up high off a body. Sarich knocks it down, will float it down ice, and now we're back to even strength, and the Hitmen are going to be called for icing. Broncos leading Calgary 1-0 with under 5 to go in the first on the Eagle, 94-1. Calgary getting control out of their own zone through center. It's Ryan Getzlaf getting to the blue line. Then he was taken off the puck. Dahl will take it onto his end boards, scoop it up the glass, not out. Rob Smith keeping it in only for a moment as Broncos are able to force it back to center ice. Good job by Aaron Richards to get it back to the red line. Quickly, Getzlaf will dump it back in deep. Rome skating behind his own net. Flips it up the boards. Hit now by Wilkowski. Richards trying to get free space off the boards. Can't kick it out of the zone. Friesen will shuffle it up ice. The Broncos will fire it back down to the Calgary end. Egner races back to his end boards to take control. Moves it to his near corner for Getzlaf, and he'll bring it back behind his own net. 4 minutes to go here in period one. A goal, even strength by John Dahl at 8:25 of the opening period as the Broncos leading Calgary 1-0. Siegel up ice for Calgary to the blue line left side. Now he goes to the near corner. Backhands it in front. Cherney will knock it down, and Friesen will have an easy time to skate it out of his own zone untouched. Hit the red line in front of his own bench and will dump it in deep. Broncos make changes on the fly. Puck comes out of the corner to LaPlante. He'll cover up for the whistle as Tim Smith and Paul Albers work each over behind the net. And I'm not really surprised that we're getting a little more of this after the whistles, because last night it sure didn't feel like a playoff game as these two teams were very tame against one another.
Well, it was more like a first date. Not much going on out there at all. And maybe the second date here, maybe some moves will be put on. But regardless, yeah, it was sort of 11 last night. And maybe that didn't favor the Broncos. They have to play at intensity right now. And this crowd is a bit bigger tonight, and so far so good.
Tortic to take the draw against Wade Davis. Davis kicks it to the wall, but Tim Smith gets it. Gets it to the right point for Seibel. Snaps a shot on goal. LaPlante saw it, but he couldn't cover it up. Tortic, bad angle backhand, hit off the side of the goal. Davis backhands it to the near board. Seibel pinches it deep and rocks his man to the wall. Great body check by Seibel on Lance Morrison. Broncos will keep it in deep. Puck rolls to the right corner for Ben Andrus. Tortic getting it free behind the net now. Trying to cycle it off the end boards, but he's going to draw a penalty, I believe, unless there's a slashing minor called by Mark Holshoff well away from the play. I think that's what it might be, as now Seibel works over Freddie Sjustrom. But Kevin Seibel's had a great start to this hockey game. This is one of his best performances on home ice all year long.
Yeah, Freddie Sjustrom, he's a smaller Swedish player, but he gets the job done, and he's really a target of the Broncos. They want to target some of these smaller, speedier players and let them know they're in a playoff match. And see some more penalties here as the Bronco door and the Hitmen door are open. It's a slash to one side, and it looks like only a Bronco penalty.
It looks like Brent Tortic, well, no one's gone to sit down in the box yet for Swift Current.
Ben Andrus.
Well, Ben Andrus has his number put on the score clock and the 2 minute beside his name. And Andrus is down there for the minor penalty. So the Broncos will be shorthanded for the second time tonight. 3:19 remaining here in period number one. Morrison will take the face-off against Nathan Smith. Morrison wins it cleanly to his own zone, and Davis will bring it up ice. Left wing hits the blue line. Rocked hard along the boards by Ian White, and a good body check. Broncos get it on their end wall, can't clear it out. But a delayed penalty will come up away from the puck, and Lance Morrison is going to get dinged for an elbow after knocking the helmet off of Les Cherney. So there goes the Broncos' penalty kill. Will play a long stretch of 4-on-4.
Well, I tell you, the Broncos have stepped up the physical presence here tonight. Ian White on Wade Davis. Here's the size matchup, folks. We got Ian White at 5'10", and we got Wade Davis at 6'5", and Whitey flattened him right there in front of the blue line. That's another big hit there. So the Broncos here also drawing the penalty, so a long stretch of 4-on-4. In fact, we'll play a minute 48 of fours here in the late stages of the first.
The elbowing minor to Morrison coming at the 16:53 mark of period one. Calgary wins the draw, getting control through the neutral zone. Boychuk moving it up ice. Sjustrom couldn't get it in deep as he was tied up by Jaffrey. White brings it back to his own zone. Gave it away to Sjustrom off the left boards. Fires it to the blue line, but it rolled away from Beachy. And Calgary will have to chase it back into their own end. A minute and a half to go of 4-on-4 hockey, and then the Broncos will be on abbreviated power play, their second of the game. Boychuk floats it in deep into the Broncos zone. Ford out of his crease will leave it free behind the net for Les Cherney. Cherney getting pressured by Sjustrom, couldn't clear it out. Sarich does a good job to keep it into the near corner. Nathan Smith moves it back behind his own net. White will take it, leave it on the end boards. Cherney has it knocked down off his chest, now has it to his stick, and will scoop it up the wall. Nathan Smith pokes it through center ice. Boychuk getting control at his own blue line. Backhands it left wing through center for Sarich. Now leaves it on for the stick of Beachy. Circles back to his own zone. Now moves it deep into his own corner for Sarich. Cross ice to his far wall for Boychuk, and he'll flip it through center. White quickly knocks it down, takes it back the other way. Got tied up by Boychuk. Sjustrom gets loose, races back through center. Beachy drives to the goal. Sjustrom out in front for Beachy, but the puck rolled off his stick. Calgary nearly taking a 1-1 time, but Beachy couldn't get a shot on net. Takes it loose, though, to the left-hand corner. Hacked off the puck by Nathan Smith. Nathan trying to get it free behind his own net. Was tied up, lost it. it. Schustrom to Beachy, to the right faceoff circle over Egner. Puck rolled away from him, got it back at the point. Backhands it in deep. Beachy and Schustrom go after it. White and Nathan Smith are also there. Puck is stuck in a skate of Nathan Smith, but they want to move it, and they do. Puck comes to the right point for Egner. Egner to the far faceoff circle for Schustrom. Takes it back to the blue line. Now feeds Egner. Left point. Now to the near boards for Rob Smith. At a bad angle on his off wing. Comes in front. Wrist shot save on the close side by Ford. Schustrom in the near corner. Backhands it to the point. Nobody there for Calgary. Or can Egner keep it in? Yes, he can. Puts it back down low behind the net. Beachy goes after it. Now the Broncos are an abbreviated power play. Are they able to get control in their own zone? Yes, they are. And they'll race to center ice. White goes up ice with Andres 2-on-2. Catching up is Jaffrey. White to the zone left side. Making moves to Jaffrey. Right faceoff circle. Jaffrey wrist shot stopped by LaPlante. Puck off to the far boards for Morrison, who's now out of the box. He'll clear it all the way down ice as we're into the final minute of play now in period number 1. Broncos still clinging to a 1-0 lead. They'll fire it up ice, but Tim Smith takes a pass 2 lines offside. Let's take a time out. Broncos up by a goal in the final minute of period 1 on the Eagle 94-1. With only 38.4 seconds to go, the Hitmen are going to go to work on a power play as Steven Spencer has just been whistled down for a checking from behind. So Calgary will finish off the period on the man advantage. They're 0 for 2 so far.
And a good scoring chance just a second ago as that puck was down on top of the crease loose, and Todd Ford didn't know where it was. It was sitting there just on top of the blue paint, and Todd Ford was out, but luckily there was no Hitman in the area to try to jump on that. But back on the power play go the Hitmen.
Face off to the left side of Todd Ford. Brent Twardick, Ben Andres up front. Kevin Seibel and Ian White are on defense. Bubnik to take the draw against Twardick. Will win it in skates. Siegel backhands it to the right point for Tyler Beachy. Holding it the blue line. Snaps it towards goal. Ford gloves it out of the air through a screen. And he's able to cover it up. And Tyler Beachy was able to score from a similar spot on the power play in the final minute of period 2 last night.
Yeah, they scored 2 goals on the power play each, with getting some traffic in front and getting that shot for the point. Todd Ford didn't see it, and it was quite effective. The Broncos have to clear those players out.
Face off in the Broncos end, won by Twardick. White goes after the far corner. Now he's tied up and put to the ice by Fussy. Siegel to the right faceoff circle for Beachy, making moves down low for Davis. Snapshot goes wide. Puck to the far corner for Beachy. 15 seconds to go in the period. Pass to the left point for Davis. Pass down low through the slot and goes wide of the net. To the right boards for Beachy. Far wall taking it is Bubnik. Cycles it down low to the corner for Siegel. Tied up, lost it off to the stick of White, but then it's thrown in front for Davis. Backhand, great pass saved by Ford. Puck out in front for Beachy. Looking out to the crease. He can't find it. Bubnik left faceoff circle. Slap shot closes wide as time expires. And you don't get much more firebrand hockey like that to finish off a period. Todd Ford with a huge save off of Wade Davis and close to keep this at a 1-0 Broncos lead.
Looks like Todd Ford's on his game tonight there, but what a flurry of activity to close off the final 30 seconds of this period. There's a shooting gallery down there. Calgary using the point and using that player off the far wall, the side wall there to try and get something going. Todd Ford made a nice pad save and was kept on his toes there busy. The Broncos take a 1-0 lead into the dressing room through 20 minutes of play.
WHL Ringside is brought to you by Esporta. We clean the tough stuff.
Welcome to Esporta WHL Ringside. This week we have a feature from Cranbrook.
Maintaining family health and safety is a priority for parents everywhere. One way you can keep your family safe is to make sure their sports equipment is always clean and germ-free. For a hygienic, sanitized wash, take your gear to Esporta, where they clean the really tough stuff. Take Walter's advice. Clean sports equipment is a smart health choice for players and parents alike.
The scoring race went right down to the wire, with Nathan Barrett just hanging on 1 point over Joffrey Lupul, who was smoking in the second half and led the league in goals with 56. The playoff matchups are now set in BC as Kamloops clinching the division. They will meet Kelowna. The other series has the Cougars and Ice squaring off in a 2-3-2 format. In the U.S., it was Portland clinching the division. They will meet the T-Birds in another classic rivalry. The Chiefs, who faded down the stretch, will host the Americans. Brandon takes the East with more victories than the Pats. Regina will host Moose Jaw, while Saskatoon opens at home to the Wheat Kings. They will play a revised format with the last 2 games in Brandon. In the Central, Red Deer wins the division just barely over the Broncos, who are the hottest team going into the playoffs. The first-round winners will be seeded 1-4 and will play within the conference. The defending Memorial Cup champs will head into the postseason as the number 1 ranked team. Brandon and Swift Current maintained their position, while the Pats got back into the top 10 in the final ranking of the season. Like most WHL teams, the Kootenay Ice have 2 imports who are making an impression. One is a Czech, the other a Slovak, and they've both been drafted by NHL teams. We get more from Cranbrook.
Dan Aykroyd and Steve Martin used to play 2 Czech brothers on Saturday Night Live. They were 2 wild and crazy guys. Well, the Kootenay Ice have their very own version. Their forwards Marek Spatos and rookie forward Tomas Plihal, 2 flashy and high-scoring guys.
Well, definitely Marek is a very flashy player that does things at high speed, and he puts the crowd on the edge of their seats with the exciting plays. And I think Thomas brings a little bit of that, but I think the biggest thing Thomas does is he's more of a playmaker than Marek is, and he's great with the puck. He's got unbelievable vision on the power play.
Marek Spatos had a rough welcome to the Western Hockey League, having to sit out part of his rookie year because of problems with his club in Slovakia.
Yeah, you know, it was pretty tough for me because I have a pretty good start. I played 10 games, got 11 goals, so it was pretty good for me, like a rookie. And then I couldn't play for 30 games, so it was a pretty hard time for me. And just wait every game when I can play. So.
Despite missing all those games, he impressed the Colorado Avalanche scouts enough to draft him in the 7th round. But problems still followed the talented Spatos as the events of September 11th took their effect.
Yeah, I went to Calgary and I was sitting in a plane already to Toronto, and happened in New York, so I get stuck in Calgary and I spent 3 days there, so I didn't make the camp.
Tomas Plihal had no such problems beginning his rookie season, although he had to adjust to life in the WHL.
Je to těžký tady hrát. U nás to bylo lehčí. Silnější obránci, větší, víc hrajou do těla než u nás.
Tomas Plihal's adjustment has been swift. He's been called a pleasant surprise by the coaching staff. Coming in, Plihal was described as a poor skater and soft. He has proven to be anything but, as he's having an outstanding rookie season. He's in a race for top rookie in the league, and he has broken the Kootenay Ice rookie points title of 79, previously held by Mike Comrie.
Jsem rád, že jsem to překonal a budu pokračovat.
Both players bring fans out of their seats, playing hard, scoring highlight reel goals, and always bringing a smile to the rink.
They're both exciting players. I think we've got 2 of the best in the league, and you know, I think that's hard to come by.
For Sport of WHL Ringside, I'm Sean Killam.
There's nothing like playoff action, and it gets underway Friday with some classic matchups. So check with your local team for home dates or look it up on the web at whl.ca and get out there and support your team. Thank you for watching A Sport of WHL Ringside, your source for the WHL.
WHL Ringside has been brought to you by Esporta. Call Esporta for the drop zone nearest you.
The forwards up front for Calgary. Mark Hulshoff has the puck at center ice, but before we can get things going, linesman Paul Brunin just has to do a little bit of patchwork with a water bottle and a little rut in the ice just outside of the Calgary blue line. Broncos penalty kills look pretty good here, but give full marks to the Calgary power play as well, as they've fired a number of good quality chances the way of Todd Ford in their first 2 man advantages.
Yeah, Todd Ford, he was especially busy in that last tail end of that power play, or tail end of that period. And I think you'll see some more action here. Minute 21 left of the penalty to Steve Spencer. And the Hitmen are going to try to look things up, but tie things up here. But Todd Ford standing tall so far.
All right, referee Mark Hulshoff has the puck at center ice. Brent Twardyk's going to step in to take the draw against Morrison. Puck is dropped. And we're underway with period number 2. Calgary will dump it in deep into the Broncos zone. Swift Current, who moves right to left on your radio dial, sees Mitch Love in his own corner, flip it out through center ice. Beachy will track it back at his own blue line. Through center, taking a pass is Wade Davis. Hits the Broncos blue line, drops a pass for Morrison, far boards for Siegel, poked off the puck by Tornik, had a tough time clearing it out. Calgary will get it back in deep. Morrison left boards for Siegel, backhands it end wall to Morrison, cycles it behind the net to the right corner for Sjostrom, up the right boards in the Broncos end. Now he'll backhand it near corner to Morrison, puck rolled away from him. Broncos had a tough time clearing it out on a first chance, but Andrus is there to get it on a backhand all the way down ice. 40 seconds remain and what's left of a checking from behind Minor to Steven Spencer. Calgary on the attack. Davis inside the blue line, coming free to the slot. Slap shot hit a body on the way through, and Aaron Rome will move it out of his own zone back through center ice. We've hit the 1 minute mark here of period number 2. Broncos still in the lead on top of Calgary, 1-0. Hitmen leading this series 1-0. Sjostrom off his end boards, having a chance to get it out of his own zone to center. Knock it up the left wing. Davis had a pass blocked, and Jaffrey will go up ice. Hit the blue line right side. Backhanded to the slot for Nathan Smith, but the pass went behind him, and Beachy will race back the other way. Calgary goes 3-on-2 with Sjostrom joining the rush. Beachy left side, throwing it to the slot, but it went away from Siegel to the right corner. Calgary's collected in deep. Morrison gave it away to Cherney. Took it in front of his own net and lost the puck. Beachy to Sjostrom. Gave it away, and Tim Smith will have a chance to clear it up ice. Jaffrey and Smith down the right side. They hit the blue line, but going in early was Cherney offside, and play is whistled down. So a good job to start the second period for the Broncos, killing off that minor penalty to Steven Spencer.
Well, so far so good, and now Cherney looked to jump into that rush with Tim Smith and Jason Jaffrey, and I don't know if that was offside. The blue line basically right in front of us. That was too tough to call, but they whistled him down for offside. The face-off here just outside the Hitmen blue line.
Jeremy Williams will lose the draw to Michael Bubnik. Calgary with possession inside their own territory. Dan Ehrman through center for Bubnik. Got it to the Broncos end, not very far. Mitch Love will have a chance to knock it out of his own territory, but it's knocked down at the blue line. Tim Smith couldn't get it through center. Ian White will push it behind his own net. Knocked down on the near boards by Ehrman. Right-hand corner, missed Fussy with a feed. Puck goes behind the Broncos net. Swift Current has a tough time clearing it out. Wilkowski in the far corner for Calgary. Leaves it for Bubnik. Off the wall, he's pressured by James Hebert. Bubnik trying to get it free to a teammate. Hebert does a good job to tie him up. Now Wilkowski tries to take it free to the end boards. Puck stuck in skates in the Broncos corner. Wilkowski knocked to the ice by Ian White. Hebert trying to clear it up the wall to Williams, but it's knocked down. Fussy trying to take it in close to the net. His snapshot on the short side goes wide. Tim Smith will get a chance to get control back for the Broncos and skate it through center. Tim Smith, nice pass right side. A little bit too far for Williams. Still goes in deep. Sarich and Tim Smith go after it. Puck comes to the near corner for Hebert. Off the left boards, throwing it down to the slot. Hit the leg of Bubnik. Williams takes it near corner. Passes it behind the net for Tim Smith. Smith holding, looking in front. Hit it off the back of the goaltender. Comes to the slot. Love can't find the puck, and Fussy's able to skate it out of his own zone. Through center feed Wilkowski. Down the right side. Hits the blue line. Steps into a snapshot. Hit the leg of Dahl. Puck then floated behind the Broncos net. It'll come to the left point. Jared Carlyle does a good job to keep it in. Puck comes though to the stick of Love, and he'll fire it through center ice. Dahl, the lone goal scorer tonight, couldn't get it in deep to the Calgary end, and Ainsley's able to fire it back in deep. On goal, the puck comes to Ford. He'll leave it beside his net for Love. Pushes it to the far boards. Broncos can't clear it out. Egner at the left point. Fires it towards goal. Deflected in front. Ford makes the quick save. And White will now bring it out of his own zone. Go on the attack. At the center circle. Touch it into the zone. Knocked out of the air by Egner. He'll have a chance to get possession back. Throw it cross ice to Carlyle. Got poked off by Dahl, but Rob Smith will then bring it back behind his own net. 3.5 minutes gone in the second period. Broncos still up 1-0 on top of the Calgary Hitmen. Carlyle through center for the Hitmen squad, but stopped to the red line by Dahl. Puck comes back to the stick of Rob Smith. Dragging it at his own blue line. Knocks it up the left wall to Wes Rippon. His chip pass got onto the stick of Dustin Friesen. He'll backhand it to the Calgary end. Egner then floats it back down to the Broncos zone. Icing, though, will be waved off. Calgary makes some changes here on the fly as the Broncos are able to move the puck out of their own territory. Andrus through center. Long left wing pass. Dahl will race after it to the Calgary corner. With Boychuk behind him, they overskate it. Friesen will follow up. Now he's pinned along the end boards by Beachy. Friesen backhands it near corner to Andrus. Chipping it to the left point for Cherney. Got pressured, so he throws it back behind the net to the far corner. Twarda collects for the Broncos. Up the right wall. Feeds Andrus down deep. Got away from Beachy, but the puck got onto the stick of Albers. Gave it away to Andrus. Takes it to the near side corner. Now spins up the left boards. Andrus taking it back down to the near corner for Twarda. Twarda tied up by Beachy. Got help though from Tim Smith. Momentarily fell and got back to his feet. Puck comes to the left point. Cherney trying to keep the bouncing puck in. Does. Tim Smith taking it to the slot. Now to the right face-off, or to the right point. Holding off the boards to the far corner for Twarda. Good pressure here by the Broncos as Andrus gets it end wall. Throwing it down low to Tim Smith. His redirected shot wide. Smith tracks it down to the left corner. Backhands it off the wall to Twarda. Cycles it to the far side for Andrus. Out in front, LaPlante can't find it. He pokes it aside. Beachy can't clear it out of the zone. Aaron Rome right point, floats it on net, and it's gloved out of the air by LaPlagne. And we're going to possibly have penalties coming up here as Rippon and Tim Smith work each other over. Broncos doing a good job on the forward check here. Force LaPlagne to make the glove save.
Well, I think Rippon is the only one getting a penalty here unless Tim Smith does something here, and he gave him a shot, so we'll wait and see. But Rippon and Tim Smith were tied up with each other. We have one roughing call down there right now, and it looks like both as well, so it looks like 4-on-4 here. But the Broncos, what a shift there by Brent Twardick, Tim Smith, and also Benny Andrus. They're cycling the puck effectively. They had it in the Hitman zone for most of that time, and we'll see some 4-on-4 action here now.
As Rippon and Smith go to their respective boxes for the offsetting roughing minor penalties. 4:52 the time of these minor infractions. Third time tonight we play 4-on-4 hockey. Draw will come down to the Calgary end. Andrus and Nathan Smith and Jason Jaffrey will play up front. Steve Spencer, Ian White at the points. Fred Sjostrom, Tyler Beachy, the forwards for Calgary. Wade Davis and Rod Sarich are on defense. Draw to the glove side of LaPlagne. Beachy steers it to the opposite boards, and Sjostrom will collect for Calgary, bring it all the way back behind his own net. Sarich taking control off his end wall, fires it up the far left side to Sjostrom, who races through center, gets good speed down to the Broncos zone. Spencer forces him to the corner and off the puck, but it goes to the opposite corner in the Broncos end for Jaffrey. He'll backhand it to his end boards for White, puts it to the far wall, and Spencer will have a chance to move it up to center ice. Sarich knocking the puck down in front of the Broncos bench. Moves it up the middle for Sjostrom. Got bumped off the puck by Spencer, and Nathan Smith will get it back for the Broncos to his own territory. Ian White through the middle. Nice pass for Nathan Smith on the breakaway. Nathan Smith alone making moves and a wrist shot. Good save and close by LaPlagne. Puck down behind the net of Calgary as Sarich will track it down. Fantastic pass by Steve Spencer to catch Nathan Smith through the middle. But here go Calgary on the attack. Beachy right side of the Broncos zone. Stops at the face-off circle. Throws a cross-zone pass for Sjostrom. Off the wall. He fires it on net. Ford makes the save. Rebound just floats wide. Puck to the near corner for Beachy. Tied up on the end boards by White. Put it behind his own net. Nathan Smith will get control, and the Broncos will race it out to center. Go 3-on-2. Nathan, White, and Jaffrey on the attack. Jaffrey high in the slot with a slap shot hit off the leg of Sarich. Clears the end glass and out of play. Let's take a timeout. Broncos still up 1-0 on the Hitmen here on the Eagle 94.1. Seibel cycles the puck behind his own goal, but not out of the zone. Rob Smith, right face-off circle. Wrist shot floats high and wide. John Dahl will get control back for the Broncos and clear it out of his own zone. James Hebert will get possession through center. Feed Rome, left side of the red line. Now to the Calgary zone. Stops inside the blue line. Backhands it to the near corner for Hebert. Takes it down behind the net with Siegel behind him. Hebert centering it out in front. Couldn't find a teammate. Rob Smith will golf it all the way down to the Broncos end. Won't have enough juice for icing as play is allowed to continue on. 13 minutes to go here in the second period. What's been a great hockey game for both teams. Broncos still on top 1-0. Tim Smith through center ice. Feeds Hebert up the middle. Body check by Siegel, excuse me, but that's going to be a penalty called by referee Hulshoff. They're going to call it an interference penalty. And Richard Crom, the head coach for Calgary, is fuming, and he doesn't like the call from Hulshoff. The Broncos go to work on their third power play of the game.
Well, play the Raymond's Place City Walk power play contest for Kyle Thorensen of Swift Current. Kyle, Broncos score here in this third power play, their third opportunity of the game. You'll win yourself lunch for two at Raymond's Place City Walk. But the Broncos have really turned it up here in the last few minutes and had some quality scoring chances.
7:02, the time of the penalty to Siegel. Nathan Smith, Tim Smith, Jason Jaffrey up front. White and Cherney are on the points. The fans really making some noise here at the Civic Center tonight. Beachy to take the draw against Nathan. Beachy immediately fired it. Nathan skates all the way back down to the Broncos end. Morrison's up front with Beachy on the PK here for Calgary. Sarich and Boychuk are on their defense. Cherney starts from his end wall and moves it up ice to center. Tim Smith through the middle. Had a pass knocked down by Boychuk. Smith got it back. Got it to the Calgary end, but quickly Sarich from his own blue line rattles it back down deep into the Broncos zone. Third power play of the hockey game for the Broncos. They're 0 for 2 so far. And 1 for 8 in the series on the power play. Cherney through center ice, finds White down the left wing. He'll chip it in deep. Nathan Smith and Jaffrey race after it. Sarich got to it before both of them, and he'll move it out of his own zone to Beachy, who will skate it through center. Long headman pass, misses Morrison. Ford on his end boards will move it to the near wall. Puck got away from Nathan Smith. It comes back to center ice, but Jaffrey will knock it down out of skates. Then Calgary in there early, whistled down on the offside. Let's take a more in-depth look at one of the players in tonight's hockey game here at the Centennial Civic Center.
Download player data, the Lego Agro Instant Player Profile.
Calgary Hitmen center number 10, Tyler Beachy. Beachy, one of 3 20-year-olds on the Hitmen, is having a big year in his last season in the WHL. The native of Edmonton is acquired from the Kootenay Ice in the offseason. Beachy was also selected to the WHL's Eastern Conference All-Star team. That's another Lego Agro Instant Player Profile.
Puck rolling deep into the Calgary end. Rob Smith behind his own net, gave it away. Hebert on the end boards, trying to get it out in front. He'll find Andres. Snapshot stop. Big rebound by LaPlante. Kicked out, kept it at the blue line, left side by White. Puck behind the Calgary net. Davis scoops it off the wall, not out. Andres, left point, finds White. Near side boards for Hebert. Coming down low in the face-off circle. Snapshot, hit a leg of Davis. Puck goes back to the corner. Hebert takes control, finds White, left side. Down beside the net for Andres. In front for Hebert. Making moves. Hebert in the slot. Can't get a shot off. Fires it far wall to Nathan Smith. Down low to Ian White. The snapshot wires it wide. White behind the net. Finds the puck. Trying to get it down to the slot for Hebert with a one-timer. Didn't get good wood on it. Puck kept into the left face-off circle by Andres. To the right point for White. Back down to the left wall for Andres. At the hash mark. Setting things up. Finds White at the middle of the blue line. Rolling puck slap shot goes over the net. Puck bounces high to the crease. Hebert finds it, but LaPlante will have it underneath him and get the whistle as the Broncos do a fantastic job of moving the puck around on the power play, but they can't beat LaPlante.
Wow, some great chances there. Ian White had 2 good quality scoring chances. He came in from his position there and had lots of open ice and let a shot go to the short side that whistled wide. James Hebert attempted a one-timer there from the middle of the ice. That puck's bouncing around down there, and LaPlante is doing some acrobatic work to get a hold of that loose puck, and so far he's doing the job. Still 11 seconds left to go in this man advantage.
Dahl takes it against Beachy. Beachy wins it to the corner. Sarich rattles it off his end glass. Can be kept into the point by Spencer. No, will hop free to the neutral zone. Taking it back at his own blue line is White, as the penalty to Siegel is now over. Broncos are 0 for 3 on the man advantage. Still, though, leading the Calgary Hitmen 1-0. White backhands it to his own blue line for Freeze, and he'll knock it to center. Sarich collects it, got it back to the Broncos end, but the delayed offside allows Spencer to move it to center ice. White backhands it in deep into the Calgary corner. Sarich moves it off his wall to Morrison, and he'll get it through center ice for Tyler Beachy from well out. Fires it in deep. Puck rolls to the far wall. Schustrom tracks it down for Calgary. He's hit hard along the boards by Seibel. Puck comes to the right point, though, for Ehrman. Lost the puck to Friesen. He has a tough time getting it out, though. Morrison will keep it in off the boards. Friesen will then get it back, and this time he'll chip it up the wall, not out. Beachy then gave it away to Friesen. This time he smacks it off the glass and will come loose to center ice. Richards through the middle for the Broncos. To the blue line. Left side will dump it in deep. Broncos make full-scale changes here on the fly. We have hit the midway point of this hockey game. John Dahl's goal, 8.5 minutes into the first. The lone goal to speak tonight into this hockey game. Calgary out of their own zone. Schustrom, front of his own bench, wires it in deep to the Broncos' corner. Racing after it is Beachy. Hebert will get there before him. Trying to take it behind his own net, where he'll leave it for Seibel. And he backhands it to the far boards. Rome gets control for Swift Current and fires a long cross-ice pass to center for Hebert. Down the left side, crisscrossing, high to the slot. Hebert down low for Nathan Smith on a backhand, put it wide. Puck rolls to the near side corner. Beachy gets it. Here goes Calgary the other way, 2-on-2. Beachy and Wilkowski joining the rush is Getzlaf. Getzlaf to the goal. Get bound in front with a shot. And did he score? No, Ford makes the save as Getzlaf is denied by Todd Ford on what's his best save of the hockey game.
Well, the Broncos are really trashing the net right now. When you're trashing the net, sending all your forwards in looking for that puck on a scoring chance, you're going to get caught sometimes, and the Hitmen go 2-on-1 the other way. Getzlaf tried to finish the job on the 5-hole, but Todd Ford slid across, fouled the play, and made the save, and then the players go into the net and take it off, but Todd Ford called upon again. He looks to be back on form here as the face-off will come down deep in Bronco territory.
Twarduk against Davis at the face-off circle to the glove side of Ford. Twarduk will take cleanly to his end boards. Rome gets it back off the wall. Can he clear it out? No. Getting a second chance to clear his Andres. He'll move it up ice to Twarduk. 2-on-1 with Tim Smith. Smith takes the pass, trying to drop it to Twarduk. His shot was stopped, and then LaPlante will cover it up with his glove hand and get the whistle. Great action here in Game 2. Broncos leading the Hitmen 1-0 here on the Eagle, 94-1. from traffic, finds Siegel. Touches it to his own bench for Boychuk, and he'll float it down to the Broncos end. Mitch Love on a backhand, can't clear it out. Bubnik, no, they call it offside. And although Bubnik's shot got behind Ford and nearly crossed the goal line, play was well whistled down. And the Broncos, I think you have to be very happy with their defensive effort tonight in this hockey game. Still clinging to a 1-0 lead, but playing smart hockey at both ends of the rink.
And where are the likes of Brandon Siegel, as well as Tyler Beachy and Owen Fussy been so far? The 340 goalmen, we haven't seen much of them tonight. And here they are on the ice with Fussy out there with Bubnik, and as well number 12, that's also Brandon Siegel.
Face-off outside the Broncos' blue line. Bubnik will win it against Dahl. Dahl trying to find it in skates in the center circle. Can't do it. Puck rolling down back into the Broncos' territory. Love gets it on his end boards. Backhands it to the corner. Bubnik will intercept it for Calgary. Backhands it down low for Sarich. Looking in front. Couldn't find a teammate. And Dahl will have a chance to bring it out of his own zone. Through center, Williams will have a chance to backhand it high and deep into the Calgary corner. Sarich behind his own net. Ridden off the puck by Dahl, but Williams gets it free on the end boards. His centering pass knocked down by the captain, Sarich, and he'll clear it up ice. Ehrman down the right wing. Gets to the blue line. Trying to go around Love, who does a good job to take him off the puck. White will fire it from behind his own net, but hit the leg of Fussy. Puck goes to the near corner. Taking it is Bubnik. Try to center it down low. Love will intercept. He'll kick it up to Williams, who will backhand it free to center ice. Sarich will quickly get it on a backhand of his own and dump it back down deep into the Broncos' end. 7:40 to go here in period 2. Broncos still nursing a 1-0 lead as Williams through center backhands it into the Calgary zone. Taking control inside of his own blue line was Jared Carlyle. Gave it away to Williams. Back on the attack, but in early was Hebert, and play is whistled down on the offside. Let's take another timeout. Broncos are on top of Calgary 1-0 with 7.5 to go in the second on the Eagle 94-1. Face-off coming up in the Broncos territory. This Swift Current Broncos radio and internet broadcast, sole property of the Eagle 94.1, Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the rights holder, strictly prohibited. We always want to pass along a special hello to Broncos family members and friends listening on the World Wide Web, and as well a special hello to all the Calgary Hitmen parents and friends listening tonight, because their game is not being broadcast back on the team radio station in Cowtown. So all the Hitmen listeners who would normally tune into Mark Stiles are listening to our game. Hope you're enjoying it right now. Broncos on top of Calgary 1-0 with 7 minutes remaining. Albers taking it back into his own zone. Nearly taken off the puck by Nathan Smith, but Beach will come over and help him out. Spencer does a good job to body check Schustrom to the ice. Calgary still will get it out of their own territory. Seibel will knock it back in deep. Puck floats right into the net of LaPlante. He'll cover it up and get the whistle. And John, we have a quick update with the Swift Current Legionnaires, because they're opening up the playoffs in the final round of the AAA Midget Series tonight in Tisdale.
Yeah, word out of Tisdale right now is the Legionnaires out in front of the Trojans 2-1 as they play in the first period. Kevin LaValle with both goals, the former Bronco, playing with the Legionnaires right now. So a good start for the Legionnaires in game 1 of the league championship.
Of course, LaValle still on the protected list for Swift Current. Twarduk wins a draw. Tim Smith, left point, finding Kevin Seibel. Puts it down low to the near boards to Twarduk. Nice pass to Andrus. Andrus to the right, face-off circle over Steve Spencer on a backhand. Put it to the net. LaPlante will cover it up easily and get the whistle. Steven Spencer, I think, has played fantastic here tonight. Obviously, he's not playing at 100% health, nursing a sore knee, but he brings that extra little spark the Broncos may have been missing in the second half of last night's game.
Well, you know what, and so far he's looked great. He's been one-on-one with Freddie Schuster, one of the most elusive players on the ice tonight, and he's looked fine. He's looked like his mobility is good, and his physical play has been up there as well, and he was well missed there last night. Good to have him back.
Twarduk will take the draw against Davis to the glove hand side of LaPlante. Their sticks are down. It's a stalemate, stuck at the dot. Now coming over is Tim Smith. Quick snapshot, steered aside by LaPlante. Tim will get it back to the left corner boards. Try to take it to the blue line where he'll find Spencer with a snapshot. Kicked aside easily by LaPlante. Puck bounces off the end boards. Davis pokes it to the corner, but Twarduk will take it away. Backhanded off the near corner boards. Try to find Andrus. Andrus coming out in front for Tim Smith. It rolled off his stick as he was hooked up by Getzlaf. Puck to Seibel on the far wall. Behind the net for Twarduk. Couldn't find the puck, which comes free to the corner, and Andrus takes control. Spin off the wall. Trying to get it to the point. Fed it off the boards to Tim Smith. Back to Spencer at the point, but he couldn't keep it in the zone as Ehrman is rocked hard in front of the Hitman bench by Andrus on a good body check. Broncos bring it back up ice. Tim Smith to the zone, making moves. Puck rolled away from him, though. Got it back to Twarduk. Delayed penalty coming up. Wrist shot by Twarduk went wide. Goaltender forward is out of the net, but the Broncos have to cycle it back at center ice. But now play has been whistled down. We're going to obviously have offsetting roughing minors. No, sorry, it's a two-line offside pass. Broncos are still going to go on the power play as one of the Calgary players will be going to the box for interference, that being Ryan Getzlaf.
Getzlaf tied up Ben Andrus and hauled him down. Tim Smith was working in there with Benny on sort of a 2-on-1. Tim lost the puck, but Benny Andrus was hauled down there by Getzlaf, and they'll go on the power play. We'll play the Raymond's Place City Walk power play contest for Verna Goodwin, of Swift Current. Verna, Broncos score. You and yourself lunch for two at Raymond's Place City Walk in the Wheatland Mall.
Well, the referees realized they made a mistake by calling a two-line pass, so the face-off's going to come at center. Bubnik will win the draw, get it into the Broncos territory. White plays on defense with Cherney, while it's Nathan Smith, Hebert, and Jaffrey up front. Fourth power play of the game here for Swift Current, 0 for 3 so far. White skating cleanly out of his own zone to center for Hebert. Down the right wing, will backhand it in deep. Sarich gets to it on his end boards before Jaffrey. Backhands it to the near wall for Boychuk, and he'll clear it up ice, and Fussy will take it down the right wing. Bubnik to the net. Fussy, right face-off circle. Pass in front, hit down by White. Now here go the Broncos on the attack. Cherney, right wing for center with Jaffrey beside him. Cherney, drop a pass for Jaffrey. Off the right wall, holding with the puck. Now throws it to the left point for Ian White. Back across zone for Jaffrey. To White at the left face-off circle. Now he gets pressured, so he throws it right point for Cherney. Steps into a slap shot, deflected to the crease. They score! Broncos power play is able to beat Sebastian LaPlante, and Swift Current is up 2-0.
Well, Al Cherney saw traffic in front of the net, so he let the slap shot go from the right point. Two Broncos on top of the net. I think it was James Hebert who got his stick on it and deflected it over the goal line. For Hebert, it's a big power play goal. The Broncos have a 2-0 lead here with 5 minutes left to go in the second period.
And we have a winner in our Raymond's Place City Walk power play contest.
Congratulations to Verna Goodwin of Swift Current, winner of Lunch for Two at Raymond's Place City Walk in the Wheatland Mall.
Have to wait for the official scoring. There was a big goal medal scramble as that puck eventually rolled across the goal line. Cherney with the initial shot had it hit off somebody on the way through to LaPlante. He may get credit for the goal. We'll have to wait and see. Meantime, Dahl intercepts into the zone with a slap shot. Great save, short side by LaPlante. He'll deflect it over the glass, sent out of play.
Current Broncos goal, scoring his first of the playoffs, number 13, Nathan Smith. Assisted by number 12, James Hebert. And number 4, Alesh Cherney. That's Nathan Smith from James Hebert and Alesh Cherney. Time of the power play goal, 14:58.
Sjostrom to the zone, throwing it to the slot. The Broncos will sweep it away, though, and get it back to center ice. Swift Current up 2-0 on Calgary with 4.5 minutes remaining in period number 2. Egner out of his own zone, chips it into the Broncos bench. That'll play, whistle play dead. Let's take a timeout. More Broncos hockey when we come back on the Eagle 94.1. Puck down deep in the Calgary end. Throwing it out in front was Twarduk, but Andrus was cross-checked in front by Johnny Boychuk, and it's going to be an interference call. And the Broncos, who have just struck on their 4th power play on the man advantage. Now go to work on another power play.
Well, Ben Andres draws penalties so well, and he was in front of the net, and now we have some pushing and shoving down there. It's like Getzlaff is trying to get at Ben Andres. Linesman between them. We'll play the Raymond's Place City Walk power play contest for Bradley Podolsky of Waldeck. Bradley Podolsky of Waldeck. Broncos score, you'll win yourself lunch for two at Raymond's Place City Walk in the Wheatland Mall power play. Broncos their fourth of the hockey game.
Draw will come up to the left side, or excuse me, the right side of LaPlante. Nathan Smith, James Hebert, Jason Jaffrey up front. White, Cherney on defense. Nathan to take the draw against Tyler Beachy. Smith will kick it back to White, coming off the left boards. Now coming down low to the pass, which gets to the corner for Nathan Smith. Putting it behind the net for Jaffrey. They'll switch spots. Heberts takes the pass up the left wall. Fires it to the blue line, left side for White. Back to the near boards for Hebert. To the blue line, his pass cross zone was knocked off the leg of Beachy. And the Broncos have to regroup at center ice. 3:43 to go in period two. Broncos nursing a 2-0 lead as White will rip it in deep. Puck goes to the far corner. Sarich and Hebert track it down. Puck is swept back behind the Calgary net to the opposite corner. Rob Smith will get there first for the Hitmen and dump it all the way down ice. Cherney will have a chance to get it out of his own zone. Now up ice, down to the Hitmen territory, right side. Try to pass it off the wall. Sarich intercepts it and backhands it back down to the Broncos end. Hebert and Bubnik track it down onto the end boards in the Broncos end. Bubnik will get it away from Hebert. Looking in front for Fussy, but White was there, luckily enough for the Broncos to intercept the puck, and he'll have a chance to move it out of his own zone. Nathan Smith up through center. Now it's the Hitmen blue line, left side. Shuffles it in deep. LaPlante on his end boards, leaves it for Carli. Clears it across the blue line, and the Broncos again will have to regroup in the neutral zone. 50 seconds to go on the penalty to Johnny Boychuk. Slapping it in deep is White. LaPlante doing a good job to stop it behind the net for Carli. He's hooked up and put to the ice by Tim Smith. Puck kept into the blue line by White, but Tim Smith's going to go to the box, and it's going to be a hooking call, so we're going to play 4-on-4 hockey now for another 42 seconds.
Yeah, it's one of those penalties where you're already in the offensive zone, and Carli was just bringing the puck out, and Tim Smith behind him hooked him up a bit, and that'll do it for the power play. We'll play 4-on-4 for 42 seconds, and then Calgary will enjoy their fourth power play for 1:18.
17-14, the time of the hooking minor to Tim Smith. Calgary on this 4-on-4 situation will have Sarich and Smith on defense, Sjostrom and Morrison up front. So they got a lot of speed on the ice. Broncos will counter with Twarduk and Andres as their forwards. Spencer, who's been shadowing Sjostrom all night, will be on defense with White. Twarduk will lose a draw against Morrison. Puck rolls back into the Calgary end. Taking control out of his own corner will be Sjostrom, a member of Sweden's World Junior Hockey team. Will skate through center, get to the Broncos zone right side, backhanded across ice to the far corner. White will get there before Morrison and have a chance to get away from him and move it up ice to center. White's got some speed, down the left wing, drops it to Andres. Drop pass now to White, holding inside the blue line. He fell, but did a great job to get it to the corner for Andres. Pass in front was intercepted easily by Sarich, and Calgary will get it out of their own end. Sjostrom down the right wing, hits the Broncos zone. Trying to go wide around Spencer. That's not going to happen as the puck is stuck in skates. Now it comes up the wall for Andres. Trying to backhand it out of his own zone. Beachy will knock it down and scoop it in deep. Calgary make changes here on the fly, not allowing Spencer to get free off his end boards. Knocks it out of his own zone to the Calgary blue line. Beachy will get it back for the Hitmen, who are now on a power play. Their fourth of the hockey game. Bubnik, right side of the zone for Fussy. Poked off the puck by Jaffrey. Can't clear it out. Bubnik puts it to the right point for Beachy. It rolls away from him, and Calgary will have to regroup at center ice. Under a minute to go in this abbreviated man advantage for the Hitmen, as Nathan Smith will go 2-on-1 with Jaffrey the other way. Nathan Smith with a snapshot covered up high by LaPlante. And that's a key save for the Calgary netminder, because if the Broncos had got one shorthanded, it could have easily been lights out for the Hitmen going into the third.
Well, Nathan Smith picked up that pass thinking that maybe he would be called for two line, and it wasn't called, and he walked in on the 2-on-1, and I think the Broncos have to go higher on LaPlante. He's 5'8". He barely gets over the crossbar down there, and he's been playing great, don't get me wrong, but I think just getting higher, getting that up over his shoulder is where the Broncos should look to shoot at.
Broncos want to draw on the Calgary end. Rome will get it back onto the end boards. Wade Davis will have a chance to start out of his own zone and get it through center. Left wing pass got away from Fussy. He runs some interference on Jaffrey. Referee Hulshoff didn't see it. Puck's still deep into the Broncos end. Seibel rings up on his own net. Here go the Broncos the other way. Jaffrey will find it. Left face-off circle. In alone with a snapshot covered up by LaPlante. And he'll get the draw. And then Jaffrey and Davis work each over behind the net. This penalty kill by the Broncos has been dynamite. Calgary not able to get a chance on the goal of Todd Ford, and LaPlante has had to make two huge saves here in the past 30 seconds.
Well, Jaffrey on the left side had that puck rolling on him down there. You could see it on end, and and you really can't get a good shot away when the puck's like that. And he tried his best to try to go high, and he threw it into the midsection of the goaltender LaPlante down there. But yeah, this penalty kill so far for the Broncos has worked out quite nicely. Still 25 seconds left to go in the power play.
Draw to the stick side of LaPlante. John Dahl will lose it against Beachy. Sjostrom will take it from behind his own net and have a chance to break out. Got away from Dahl, now leaves it for Sarich. Through the center circle, he goes wide left as he'll dump it in deep with under a minute remaining in period 2. Broncos on top of the Hitmen, 2-0. Puck on the end boards in the Broncos end. Siegel backhands it near wall for Sjostrom. Coming up the right point to Boychuk. Fakes a shot, finds Sjostrom at the top of the right faceoff circle. Near corner for Beachy. Back to Sjostrom at the point. Penalty's over. Sjostrom snapshot covered up high by Ford through a screen. As now we're back to 5-on-5, and Beachy and Aaron Rome start to work one another over. And you can just see the intensity and emotion in both of these hockey teams starting to escalate as this series progresses on.
Which is great, and we knew it would. It was only a matter of time. Familiarity breeds contempt, they say. So, well, with 42 seconds left to go in the period, the Broncos kill off the remainder of that penalty. We'll play 5-on-5, and how important will it be to have a 2-goal lead entering the third? Very important, I would think, as the Broncos have that extra insurance marker. But we want to play these final 42 seconds out and make sure they don't give the Hitmen a scoring chance.
Be sure to stick around in our second intermission. John will have a look at the scoring summary and update from the Swift Current Legionnaires playoff final game. Beachy wins the draw to the left point for Boychuk. Shot stop, rebound for Beachy's denied in close. Twardick will get it on a backhand and clear it out of his own zone. Andres will race after it to the left corner. If he touches it, it'll be whistled down for offside, and he will. And then he dodged a body check from Sjostrom in the corner. We're going to have a penalty coming up here. And Brandon Siegel, I believe, is going to go to the box for high sticking for Calgary, unless one of the other players on the ice was fingered for it. But maybe it's Ben Andres, as referee Hulshoff has issued somebody off to the box.
Siegel,
and it is going to be Siegel going to the box. So a big break for the Broncos going into the intermission break. They'll go to work on this now 4th power play of this period and 6th of the hockey game.
And we'll play the Raymond's Place City Walk power play contest. This time for Louise Walker of Kincaid. Louise, Broncos score. You'll win yourself lunch for 2 at Raymond's Place City Walk. 29 seconds left to work in this period, and the Broncos will finish off on the power play.
Draw will come outside of their own blue line. Twardick will win the face-off. Tim Smith back into his own territory. Knocks it right side of center for Nathan Smith. He'll get it to the Calgary end. Not very far as Boychuk's able to get it up ice. To Getzlaf. Gets to the Broncos zone. Left face-off circle. Making moves around Nathan Smith. Throws it blindly in front. Andres will intercept. Nearly put it into his own net, but no chance that was going to happen for the assistant captain. And moving up high. He gets rocked in the neutral zone by Getzlaf on a clear elbow, and that's going to be another penalty. 4 seconds to go in the period. Twardick takes it to the corner. Morrison touches the puck with 1.3 seconds, but Ryan Getzlaf, with a very, very untimely interference penalty, gives the Broncos a 2-man advantage going into period 3.
Well, Ben Andres said the puck carried up to the neutral zone. He made the pass, and then maybe 3 or 4 strides later, Getzlaf came in and really gave Benny a ride. And you could tell Benny wasn't expecting it. He doesn't really usually get hit that hard. And Getzlaf will sit down. So what a break for the Broncos. A 2-man advantage now. Won't be much time to work with it here. Only a second on the clock. That third period, the Broncos will start with a flurry.
Faceoff will come to the left side of LaPlante. Twardick will take it against Morrison. Morrison just drops to his knees. It came to the slot. White couldn't get a shot off as the horn sounds to finish off 40 minutes of play, and the Broncos are in the lead. And the fans here at the Civic Center recognize that. Up 2-0 going into the final 20 minutes of play.
Well, the Broncos did exactly what they've done so far and had to do so far, and that's win both periods. They won the first period 1-0. This period 1-0 as well. And we'll start with 2-man advantage to kick off the third. The Broncos have a great chance to maybe put this one on ice early stages of the third period.
Eagle 94.1, scbroncos.com, and Shaw Television, where we go to the third period with the hometown Broncos leading the Calgary Hitmen 2-0. Broncos led this game 1-0 after 1 on a goal from John Dahl. Broncos have made it 2-0 on a power play marker from Nathan Smith. Broncos are going to start this final period of regulation playing 5-on-3 as a minute and a half remains and a penalty to Brandon Siegel, a minute 58 and a penalty to Ryan Getzlaf. And right now down at ice level, the final year-end award is being presented, and it's the Wheatland Mall three-star awards, and the fans give credit to Ben Andrus, Tim Smith, and Jason Jaffrey, the three winners of the three-star selections awards this year for the 2001-2002 regular season.
That comes to the stars that are picked by the Eagle 94-1, the Southwest Booster, and even a couple times CJFB, and those three players have been called a few times in this building over the course of the season. Right back on the ice here, those three to get going here in the power play. We'll see what the Broncos can do here. A minute 30, they'll have a two-man advantage. Wow, that's a lot of time to wheel and deal down there.
Jaffrey, Smith, 3 of 4 forwards. The other being center Brent Twardick, lone D-man Ian White. Three skaters on the ice for Calgary: Tyler Beachy, Wade Davis, and Rod Sarich. Mark Holshoff, tonight's referee, drops the puck at center ice. Twardick will win the draw. We're underway with a third. Broncos quickly on the attack as they move left to right on your radio dial. At the right point is Nathan Smith, holding it to the left point for Ian White. Now feeds it far corner to Twardick. Back to White at the left side of the blue line. Puck rolled away from him. He got it back. Firing it down low. Far face-off circle for Twardick. Back to White. High in the slot. Steps into a slap shot. Hit a leg on the way through. White gets it back and takes it off to the left point. Got hooked up off the puck by Beachy, who has a breakaway. Tyler Beachy trying to be caught by Nathan Smith. Beachy on wrist shot, scores! Tyler Beachy with a huge short-handed goal for Calgary. Just 28 seconds into the third has the Hitmen down by 1.
Well, Ian White was at the left point down there, and he was being pressured by Beachy. White slipped, and we haven't seen that many times this year when he went down, sort of hooked up a bit by Beachy. Beachy would break in and go blocker side or glove side on goaltender Todd Ford. It's a big short-handed goal. The Broncos have to bear down now. Still working on the 5-on-3 for another minute, too.
An unassisted shorthander marker by Beachy, his second of the playoffs. 28 seconds in. Broncos now only in a 2-1 lead. Remember, they're still on a 5-on-3 for another 50 seconds as the fans try to rally the Broncos here at the Civic Center. Tim Smith through the middle for the Broncos. Goes wide left. Got hooked off the puck by Beachy. Puck then cleared off the boards by Davis, and the fans work referee Mark Holshoff, who I don't think is going to call many penalties in a situation when the Broncos are up by 2 guys. Now the Broncos in on the attack. Nathan Smith, right point. Had the puck roll away from him, and the Broncos will have to regroup in the neutral zone. Beachy will take it away from Nathan Smith. Take it to the Broncos blue line, then fire it back to his own blue line where Sarich collects. Moves it into his own zone for Wade Davis, and he'll immediately float it back down deep into the Broncos territory. Jaffrey will start out from his end boards and skate it up ice. 10 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Jaffrey through the left wing for Tim Smith, holding at the blue line, left side. To the right face-off circle for Nathan Smith, stopping off the boards. Feeding it down low, looking for Twardick through the back door. He missed him with a pass. Sarich can't clear it out. 1 penalty's over. Twardick, left corner boards, trying to get it out in front. Beside the net, he'll feed Jaffrey. Backhands it far wall for Twardick. To the far corner for Jaffrey. Down low in front for Tim Smith. Shot, great save. Jaffrey the rebound, can't find it. Loose in the slot. And the Hitmen sweep it away, but not out of the zone. Nathan at the right point, floats it high behind the net of LaPlante. Jaffrey to the far corner, feeds Twardick off the left boards. Down to the far corner for Jaffrey. In close and a backhand, great glove hand save by Sebastian LaPlante with only 3 seconds to go here in the penalty to Getzlaf.
Well, you know what? This has been a big momentum booster for the Calgary Hitmen, I think, because they not only do they get the short-handed goal, but Sebastian LaPlante making a couple of beauty saves here to kill off the remainder of this penalty. Still 3 seconds left to go. The Broncos have a chance maybe to win a face-off and attempt to set something up, but Calgary here is going to come out guns blazing once they get back to 5-on-5.
Dahl to take the draw against Morrison, right side of LaPlante. Sticks her down. Comes free to the hash marks. It's found by Rob Smith, and the penalty is over as Getzlaf is out of the box. Broncos are now 1 for 7 on the power plays. Dahl through the middle, rips it in deep. Davis takes it from behind his own net. Can't clear it out of the zone. Cherney, left point, floats it towards net. Went through a screen and wide. Puck comes to the right point. Rome will keep it in deep. To the near corner, looking for Hebert. He's thrown to the ice by Rob Smith. Rome will keep it into the blue line. Not for long as Fussy will clear it out of his own zone. Back down to the Broncos territory. Andrus at his own hash marks. Scoops it through center ice. Davis able to knock it down at his own blue line. Hebert collects. Nice pass to Andrus. To the right face-off circle. Making moves. He's poked off the puck. Smith will then get it back in his own corner. Have a chance to look up ice. Throw it up the middle, and Davis will take the pass. He's got Siegel down the right wing. Siegel with a slap shot. Whistles it high and wide. Calgary buzzing here after a big penalty kill. He'll get control back through the middle. Getzlaf for the Hitmen will float it back in deep as we've hit the 3-minute mark here of period number 3. Broncos still in the lead, but only 2-1. Friesen chips it off his own boards all the way down ice into the Calgary end. Broncos make full skate scale changes here on the fly. Beachy through center, missed Siegel with a pass as he was going off for a line change, and they're going to call this icing against the Hitman as Tyler Beachy really showing his worth, his weight in gold right now for Calgary. A big short-handed marker, 5-on-3. That rarely happens at any level of hockey.
You know, and he was quiet as well until that point, and it just took that one little slip by Ian White. He got hooked up a bit down there, and Beachy broke in on the breakaway, and that time up the right side let a big slap shot go, and the Hitmen have some life. The Broncos here have to neutralize that quick.
Beachy wins a draw in his own face-off circle. Albers behind his own goal. Moves it up his wall for Boychuk. Had it blocked down by Jaffrey. Getzlaf comes over to help him out. Backhands it away to Jaffrey. Jaffrey trying to get free. Backhands it off to the face-off circle. It's intercepted by Getzlaf, and he'll backhand it up ice. Fires it in deep into the Broncos zone. Ford leaves it behind his own net for Mitch Love. He'll backhand it near boards for Jaffrey. Got tied up in skates. Gave it back to Love, who will then go back behind his own net. Far boards. Hebert is rocked hard by Johnny Boychuk, forcing a turnover. Wilkowski in front, couldn't get a shot off. White will backhand it up ice to Jaffrey. One-on-one with Albers. Jaffrey to the zone, trying to crisscross through the D-man. Jaffrey gets around him on a backhand, bad angle. Glove save by LaPlante to steer it aside. Albers brings it back behind his own net and stops for the Hitmen. 4 minutes gone here in the third. Broncos on top of Calgary, 2-1. Swift Current out shooting the hit, and 24-17 at this point in the hockey game. Albers out of his own zone, feeds Getzlaf in front of the Calgary bench, snaps it on goal. Ford will cover it up with a glove hand and get the whistle. Let's take a timeout. More Broncos playoff hockey when we come back on the Eagle 94-1. Spring. Seibel has to race back to the puck, which rolls deep into the Broncos zone. Backhands it behind his own net. Steve Spencer in the near corner, scoops it up the wall, not out. Sarah to the left point, throws it towards net, deflected by Morrison, and they score! Lance Morrison with a beautiful redirected shot on a backhand. A helpless Ford could not stop the puck. And wow, we're into a 2-2 tie early on in the third.
Well, the shot just came through, and it looked harmless to start it up. But it hit Morrison right there, and it found the left side of the goal past Todd Ford's pad, and only took 4 minutes and 31 seconds to erase what the Broncos had built. Got a 2-2 tie here at the Civic Center, just like that. Wow.
Lance Morrison's first goal of the playoffs. Rod Serge will get the lone assist at 4:41, and we are now into a 2-2 tie. Jared Carlisle wins the draw at center, back to Rob Smith. He'll wire it in deep. This is anybody's series, folks. Do not take the Calgary Hitmen for granted. They're playing fantastic hockey on the road in this series. They're deserving in this third period to be back onto even terms. Egner at his own blue line, fires across his own zone for Rob Smith. Chips up the wall through center. Wes Rippon down the right wing. Got across the blue line. Holding it outside the blue line. Trying to throw it down low for Carlisle. Trying to backhand it in front, but Rome will take the loose puck away back behind the Broncos goal. Aaron Rome starting out from his own territory. Nearly gave it away to Rippon, but he gets free to center. From well out, Rome with a slap shot. Hit a leg. Rome gets it back. In close with a wrist shot. Glove saved by LaPlante. Bounces high beside the net. Trying to find it as Richards. Backhand beside the net. Steered aside wide. Rome to the near side boards. Backhands it behind the net. Richards will take control. Pinned along the glass. Thrown to the ice by Egner. No penalty called. Friesen gets it behind the net again for Richards. Richards trying to get it out in front. He's thrown to the ice by Egner. No penalty called again. I think the referee Hulshoff's going to allow these two teams to play this one out, folks, without any major catastrophic injuries. And now the Hitmen ice the puck to relieve some pressure as the Broncos trying to do a good job getting back to the attack, but the fans let their feelings felt for referee Hulshoff. It really shouldn't matter here right now in this 2-2 tie with 14-11 remaining in the third.
Well, yeah, you're right. I don't think Mark Hulshoff is going to call too many penalties here down the stretch. And you know what, Bronco fans? It'll go both ways. Don't worry. We'll wait and see what happens here. But 2-2 tie here, 4:10 left to go.
Puck into the corner boards in the Calgary end. Hebert off the right boards, coming to the slot. On a backhand, throws it left point for Mitch Love. Snaps a shot on goal. Glove save through traffic by LaPlante. He'll cover up and get the whistle. Broncos cannot get destroyed discouraged here. That's a major, major factor for the Swift Current team, although giving up 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes of the third. They have to go on the attack here to try to pull this series even at 1.
And they are going on the attack. This last shift here has been a good example of just getting right back into it. The fans are still behind them, and they're still forcing the issue.
Beachy wins the draw to his end boards, but Nathan Smith collects. Nathan Smith trying to get it in front. Jeffrey's there, wrap around, wrist shot. Oh, he put it past LaPlante, but it went wide. Hebert down to the crease for Jeffrey. He put it underneath the goaltender, but it's there. Jeffrey complaining that the puck is across the goal line. The red light has not gone on, and LaPlante somehow keeps that puck from going across the goal line to keep this deadlocked at 2.
Oh my, James Hebert thought the Broncos had the 3-2 goal down there as they were all on top of the crease, and the puck was underneath LaPlante, and the whistle went very quickly down there by Hulshoff and stops play. It'll bring a face-off here, still down deep in the Calgary Hitmen zone.
Broncos will keep Jaffrey, Hebert, and Nathan Smith up front. White and Love will be on defense. They're going to bring the draw outside of the Calgary blue line. It's a tough break there for the Broncos. Beachy will stay up front with Siegel and Fussy, while Davis works Ehrman works 1 point with Sarich. Broncos win a draw, have a chance to get it high and deep into the Calgary end. Puck rolls to the far corner. Hebert goes after with Sarich. Hebert gets it away from his man. Trying to throw it to the point. Was tied up, lost the puck. Here goes the Calgary squad the other way. Sarich, cross-zone pass. Couldn't find Fussy. Beachy will follow up and smack it in deep to the Broncos corner. Love tracks it down. Moves it up his own boards. And Jaffrey takes the puck and fires it up ice. Nathan Smith will lightly tap it in deep to the Calgary corner. Ehrman goes after with Smith behind him. Ehrman moves it behind his own netminder's goal to the far wall. White trying to pinch in off the boards and keep it in deep. Trying to get it across the blue line with Siegel, and he can through center ice. Fussy will get away from Hebert and get some space. Down the left wing, find Beachy, step into a slap shot, pad save, Fussy with a rebound, great glove hand save by Todd Ford to cover it up and get the whistle, and that's a big save for Ford in this hockey game, because if Calgary had scored there, and all the momentum shifts in favor of the visiting squad.
Well, Beachy took the shot right there, right from the left side. That rebound from Todd Ford of those big pads was kicked right into the slot, and Fussy was right there looking for that third goal of the period for the Hitmen, but Ford recovered to make the big timing save.
Davis to take a draw against Twardek. Twardek's going to get waved out as one of the Broncos was not lined up properly. So Twardek will get waved out, and Tim Smith will come over to take his spot. Instead, it won't be Smith, but Ben Andrus. Andrus will win a face-off to his end boards. Rome pressured in deep by Getzlaff. Flips it to the near corner. Knocking it down is Davis, but he can't find the loose puck, and Andrus will scoop it to center. Tim Smith takes it. Cherney joins the rush. Tim Smith right face-off circle. Holtz waits for help. Throws it to the point, but Wilkowski intercepts for Calgary. And here they go the other way. Albers with a feed down the left wing. Puck rolls away from him in deep to the Broncos zone. Rome tying up Albers on the end boards. Puck is stuck in skates. Referee wants them to move it, and they can't. Andrus will get it free behind his own net and bring it out of his own zone. Andrus, nice left wing pass to Tim Smith. Can't get around Boychuk. He goes to the corner, throws it to the slot. Nobody there for the Broncos, and Albers will bring it back the other way. From well out, he'll just dump it in deep as the Hitmen make changes here on the fly. Puck in the far corner of the Broncos territory as Seibel gets possession for Swift Current. Scoops it high through center ice. Rob Smith backhands it in front of his own bench. Michael Bubnick will recollect for Calgary. Backhanded up the middle for Morrison. Went past him, and Friesen can get it back into the Calgary end. Friesen gets a return pass through the middle. Got it in deep this time, but Rob Smith is able to move it through center ice. Morrison through the middle for Calgary. Finding Schustrup. Forced back to his own zone. Lost it to Dahl. Dahl takes it to the right corner. Waits, looking out in front. John Dahl poked off the puck. It comes back to the right point, though, for Seibel. Snaps it beside the net. It's knocked down by Egner, but it comes down low to Dahl. Wrist shot stopped through traffic by LaPlante. Puck on the far boards. Bubnick will get it back for Calgary, and the Hitmen skated out of their own zone. Bubnick tripped up, but he got a pass in front of his own bench to Schustrom, and he'll dump it back in deep. 11.5 to go here, and what's been an exciting start to the third period. We're tied at 2 as Friesen from well out slaps it just past the far post, and now it caroms off the end boards to center ice. Beachy left wing to the Broncos zone for Morrison. Stopped at the blue line, and the Broncos clear it back down ice. Puck comes to the hash marks in the Calgary end, and LaPlante, well out of his crease, will cover it up for the whistle. It's the Broncos 2, the Hitmen 2, with 11:17 to go in the third on the Eagle 94-1. Faceoff will be coming outside of the Calgary blue line. Nathan Smith, Jason Jaffrey, James Hebert up front against Brandon Siegel, Tyler Beachy, and Owen Fussy. Some of the biggest guns in the Eastern Conference going head-to-head right now, folks. Beachy wins the draw back to Rod Sarich. Calgary's captain, left wing for Fussy, who will move it in deep. Ford leaves it behind his own net, gave it away to Siegel. His pass in front, knocked off the stick of Ford. Nathan Smith will then bring it behind his own net, fire it all the way down ice, and that's just to relieve some pressure in the Broncos' end, and the Broncos are now called for icing. Let's take a more in-depth look at one of the players in tonight's playoff game here at the Centennial Civic Center.
Download player data. A Lego Agro instant player profile.
Swift Current Bronco captain number 23, Brent Twardick. The 20-year-old center from Saskatoon is known as one of the best two-way players in the WHL. Twards, as his teammates call him, can always be counted on to win a key faceoff. He was the Eastern Conference top faceoff man last season. That's another Lego Agro instant player profile.
Andrus down the right wing, steps into a slap shot, covered up in the breadbasket by LaPlante, and he'll get the whistle. Broncos get 30 shots on goal at this point as we approach the midway point of the third.
And they're 9-5 right now in favor of the Broncos in this third period. We've only played 9.5 minutes here so far, but Calgary has struck back twice. It's something about having that 2-goal lead so far in this series that is not pleasant. We saw Calgary rally back last night when the Broncos were up 2-0, and here we are in a 2-2 tie.
Twardick takes the draw on the Calgary end, kicks it off the wall. Andrus lost a battle, and Getzlaf will get it out of his own zone. Wilkowski races down the left wing. It's the face-off circle, slaps a shot off the shaft of the stick of Ford, and Rome will then bring it back out of his own zone. Aaron Rome through the middle for Swift Current. Chips it high and deep into the Calgary corner. Twardick and Egner go after it. Twardick or Albers make that for Calgary. Have it stuck in skates in the near corner. Andrus trying to get it free off the boards. Trying to take it down low. He's poked off the puck. Comes to the blue line. Cherney will keep it in. Only for a moment as Getzlaf will move it out of his own zone. Cherney back up the middle for Andrus. Right face-off server. Twardick goes wide. His wrist shot easily steered aside by LaPlante. Hitmen get control back off their own boards. Wilkowski can't clear it out. Andrus alone in front with a slap shot. Stop. Rebound for Twardick. Score! No! Rebound for Andrus. He scores! Benny Andrus has put the Broncos into the lead with under 10 minutes to go here in regulation.
Wow, looked like Brent Twardick scored an initial chance, but it was off the goalpost down there, very close. As goaltender LaPlante was down and out, Twardick spun and fired and hit the goalpost. Benny Andrus was there for the rebound. Sebastian LaPlante dived back and almost made the save, but Benny Andrus has given the Broncos a 3-2 lead of this second of the postseason.
Brent Twardick will at least get one assist at 10:09 of the third. Still lots of hockey left here in the Civic Center. Don't count the Hitman out. Remember, they were down 2-0 going into this period, but the Broncos go looking again for more. Hebert left corner, down low to Jaffrey. His wrist shot steered aside wide by LaPlante. Puck to the near corner, and Bubnik will move it out of his own zone through center ice. Schustrom, right wing to the zone. Gave a pass to the slot. Seibel intercepts, and the Broncos go the other way, 2-on-1. Jaffrey and Nathan Smith. Jaffrey left face-off circle, in front to Nathan. Making moves, shot stopped. Now it's loose for Jaffrey, and he's floored to the ice. Puck steered to the corner. Morrison trying to clear it out of his own zone. Can to center, and Bubnik will throw it cross ice. Schustrom to the blue line. Got around Spencer. Couldn't find the puck, and then Nathan Smith will move it up ice to Jaffrey. Jaffrey's bumped off the puck by Ehrman in front of the Broncos bench. Sarich had it knocked down by Hebert. Hebert going to up ice. He had the puck get off his stick, but Dahl will take it in up the ice. He's hooked off the puck by Schustrom. Nathan will follow up, leaving for Hebert. Nathan Smith, left face-off circle, slap shot, hit a diving body of Sarich. Loose in the far corner in the Calgary end. Dahl pushes it behind the net. Bubnik takes it away for the Hitmen, and this time the Calgary squad will move it out of their own end. Trying to bring it back in deep for the Broncos was Aaron Richards. He'll backhand it in deep. Sarich on his end wall, smacks it off his end boards, and it will come off some bodies back to the neutral zone. 8.5 minutes to go in what's been a wild hockey game, and now the Broncos are whistled down for 2 lines offside, and that's a very tough call for the linesman to make, and a bad break for the Broncos, who have just taken the lead.
Benny Andrus with his second of the postseason. Brent Twardick, who had a chance go off the post, will get one assist. Al Cherney, who had the initial shot on goal, will get the other. Comes at 10:09, and it's for the Broncos a lead back 3-2. 8.5 minutes left to go here in the third period.
Draw will come just inside of the Broncos blue line. Dahl will take it against Beachy. Puck comes through skates, and Dustin Friesen will bring it up ice. Tap it into the Calgary corner. Carly and Richards go after it. Richards falls. Puck is underneath him, trying to get back up. Can't find the puck. Beachy will for Calgary. And their assistant captain with a goal tonight brings it up ice. Down the left wing. Throwing it in deep to the far corner in the Broncos zone. Dahl and Siegel go after it. Dahl gets to the puck. Chips it up the boards. Boychuk will knock it down off the blue line. And then the puck is stuck underneath him. And we're going to have a whistle and a face-off coming up here. Let's take a timeout. Broncos 3. Hitmen 2 with 8:08 to go in the third on the Eagle 94-1. Ian White will backhand the puck off his own glass, deep into the Calgary zone. Carly racing after it. Scoops it up his own territory for Beachy. Knocking it down, put it back to his own zone. He punched Dahl in the face, and Dahl has dropped his stick, and he's really shaken up, folks. Referee Holshoff didn't call it. Andres getting a pass blocked. He had a shot hit off the shoulder of LaPlante, and the Hitmen bring it up ice. Fussy down the left wing, goes wide to the corner with Love beside him. Fussy spins back up, throws it down low to Siegel in front for Beachy. Great pad save for Ford, and the Broncos have a chance to move it up ice. Down the right wing, Twardick can't get it away from Rob Smith. Twardick will then get it back. Nice pass for Andres, 2-on-1. Andres to White, left face circle, throws a slap shot towards net, hit a leg. Now it hit up high off of Rob Smith. Siegel is able to move it up ice for Getzlaf. Down the left wing, he's got speed, trying to get around Love. Getzlaf in close to the backhand, great pad save by Ford, who will cover it up and get the whistle as Todd Ford has really had to come up with some big stops here in the past couple of minutes.
Well, Ryan Getzlaf turned on the left side, and Mitch Love was trying to skate backwards with him, but Getzlaf had a step on Love, and Love had to turn around, and you lose that stride when you go from your backward to your forward, and Getzlaf worked himself in, but I think Mitch Love still at the angle. Todd Ford made the nice save with the pad, and more importantly, jumped on that rebound and had it for supper, and we'll have face-off down low.
7:12 remaining in regulation. Hitmen win it, draw. Wilkowski's snapshot from the face-off circle goes wide. Cherney will get it free off his end boards and have a chance to move it up out of his own zone. On a backhand, his long left wing feed finds Jaffrey. Dodges the check, can't keep it in the zone though, as Getzlaf will move it up ice. Taking the puck is Davis. Right wing feed to the blue line for Wilkowski. Wilkowski to the slot. His wrist shot hit his stick and it clears the end glass and out of play. John Dahl was rocked earlier on about a minute and a half ago by, I believe it was Tyler Beachy along the glass in the Calgary end. And he's being tended to by trainer Jamie LeBlanc on the Broncos bench.
Obviously, I think something a bit more serious than it's rare you see a player go off just getting a shot in the chops there with a glove, but John Dahl dropped a stick and went right to the bench right away, and hopefully Johnny's okay here, and we'll see him here in the third period.
Face-off at the top of the Broncos face-off circle. Nathan will win it. Taking control is Jaffrey. Back to his own corner. Snaps it high and deep through the middle. Taking control is Hebert. Left wing gets to the Calgary zone. Through a blind backhand pass, which was intercepted by Bubnik. Hitmen moving up ice. Morrison knocked down by Spencer. Puck through Mill for Jaffrey. He'll wire it back into the Calgary end. Sarich on his end boards, trying to start out from his own zone. Moves it up ice to Ehrman. He'll knock it up ice to center for Morrison. Gets some speed. Left wing to the zone. Throws it down low for Bubnik. Shot stopped by Ford. Puck rolls into the near corner of the Broncos end. Hebert finds it and wires across ice in front of his own bench to Jaffrey. Now hits the blue line left side. Nice pass to Nathan Smith. It rolled through his skates to the opposite corner. Bubnik tracks it down for Calgary. Got tied up, nearly lost it to Smith, but Sarich will get control back for the Hitmen and fire it all the way down ice. This is going to be icing against Calgary with Seibel going to touch up for the Broncos. Let's take a timeout. 6 minutes remaining. Broncos 3, Hitmen 2 on the Eagle, 94-1. Puck thrown in deep into the Calgary corner. Carly after it. Gave it away to Torque at the left faceoff circle. Down low for Tim Smith. He wired a snapshot past the net. Puck comes off the boards. Fussy's able to clear it back through center ice. Owen Fussy through the center circle. Gave it away to Andres. To White. Backhands it high. He went it over the near side glass. And faceoff will come back to center ice. This has been a fantastic hockey game with only 5:31 to go into regulation. Broncos nursing that 3-2 lead.
Yeah, and these teams aren't playing a slow style at all. 13 shots to 9 in favor of the Broncos here in the third period. They lead the shot total 34-25 right now. 5.5 minutes left to go for the third period, and Bronco fans will only need the edge of their seat the rest of the way.
Dahl takes it at center ice against Davis. He'll win the draw. Rome had a tough time handling the puck. Now he gets it free at his own blue line. Snaps it off the Hitmen bench in deep, but it's going to be icing against Swift Current. Egner touching up for Calgary. So a key draw comes back down to the Broncos territory. Swift Current out shooting Calgary 34-25, and it's been quite a while since the Broncos have been outshot in their own building. I think you have to look back to the last time Calgary was in here during the regular season. That, of course, was a Hitmen big 8-1 win over the Broncos.
You know, to hold on to tonight's game would force a best of 5, with Calgary having 3 of those home games, and the Broncos right now will take it. They have to fend off the final 5 minutes here.
Rob Smith high in the slot. Snapshot. Pad saved by Ford. Puck comes to the stick of Dahl, and off his own boards, he'll have a chance to get it out to center ice. Egner moving it back up the middle for Bubnik. Bubnik in front of the penalty box doors. Gets it back to his own zone for Egner. In front of his own bench to Rob Smith. Clears it up the wall for Seibel. He'll clear it up the boards. Right side for Tordick. He'll chip it in deep. Egner moves it across his own zone for Sjustrom. Back in front of his own net. He'll try to bring it back to the corner, and the Broncos are allowed to make some changes here, and Schustrom's allowed to move it up ice. Egner's backhand pass through center, knocked down by Spencer, and he'll backhand it in deep. Broncos very content to play this style of game. Muck things up in the neutral zone with only 4:35 remaining here in the third. Broncos on top of Calgary 3-2. Calgary in their own zone. Rob Smith clears it up to the neutral area, but White will backhand it the other way to Jaffrey. Jaffrey to the zone, left side, will float it in deep. Egner racing back after it to his end boards. On his own corner, Jaffrey going in on the forecheck. Egner will get away from him, though. Leave it on his end wall. Now move it right side to his own boards for Rob Smith. And he'll find Morrison, who will scoop it up ice to center. Bubnik gets to the Broncos' blue line, right side. Drops a pass, but it's intercepted by Hebert. He'll bring it the other way through center. Hebert to the blue line, up the middle, from well out. Snaps a shot on goal, but they call Jaffrey early offside. And that's why play is whistled down. 4:04 to go in regulation. Broncos 3, Hitmen 2 on the Eagle, 94-1. Faceoff will be coming in the neutral zone with under 4 minutes remaining here in regulation. Broncos leading the Hitmen 3-2. Twarduk to take a faceoff against Beachy will win it. Back to his own blue line for Rome. Front of the Broncos bench for Cherney. Light pass up the middle, found Twarduk, couldn't get possession. Cherney will then get it back. Couldn't get it in deep to the Calgary end, but Siegel fires it in deep anyways. Sarich's pass through the middle finds Siegel, and he'll flip it high and deep. It could be icing, and it will be against Calgary as Rome touches it before Fussy could get to the disc, and that's a key draw to come back now down into the Calgary end.
Well, you know, the Broncos here still watching that time, 3:36, and I'm sure Calgary's thinking, well, we got to start maybe forcing the issue a little bit. They still have their goaltender to be pulled, which I wouldn't expect any time before 1 minute left here in the third period. But the Broncos do so well of just containing a team when they need an extra goal, of clogging up the neutral zone and taking away passes out of their zone and using that strong forecheck. Let's see if they can keep it going.
In the left face-off circle of the Calgary end, Twarduk against Beachy. Puck bounces through skates. Now off to the far board. Siegel collects for the Hitmen. Fires it down ice. This could be icing, but it won't be. Fussy's going to get there before Rome. Ford comes well out of his net to play the puck. Rome in his near corner will get it on a backhand, hit the back of the leg of Andres. Rome trying to get it at his own slot, moves it off the far boards to Tim Smith. He'll flip it up ice. Twardek through the middle, can't find the bouncing puck. Siegel gloves it down, gave it away to Andres. By himself, goes to the Calgary zone left side, taking off the puck, and Calgary's Beachy will bring it back out of his own territory. Feed Fussy left wing, but it's a two-line offside pass against Calgary with 3:07 to go here in regulation.
Well, the Broncos right now just holding on right now. You know, Todd Ford has come up big in this third period. He's now seen 26 shots come his way, including 14 in this period right now. And Todd Ford is 10 shots this period. And see if he can keep it going here. Face-off coming inside the neutral zone of the Calgary Hitmen, just inside.
By the other end of the ring, Sebastian LaPlante has made 31 saves. He has been excellent in net tonight for Calgary. Hitmen move the puck out of their own zone. Schustrom dodges a big body check from Spencer, and the Broncos will get it out of their own blue line. And then it's brought back in by Bubnik. Morrison, right face-off circle. Drop pass for Schustrom. Wrist shot covered up by Ford. And looking behind him just to make sure that puck never snuck behind him. It was stuck inside his pad, and we'll have a draw back in the Broncos zone.
Steve Spencer's back out on the ice for the Broncos. He left last shift limping off the ice, favoring that leg that's been giving him problems there, that knee. And looks to see a gutsy effort, obviously playing hurt tonight. And he's been banged up, but I'm sure we'll see him down the stretch here as well.
Face off to the left side of Ford. Twardek against Bubnik. Puck is stuck in skates. Schustrom finds it from well out. Snaps a shot on goal. Blocker saved by Ford to the corner. White tracks it down. Golfs it over the glass. And so we should have another face-off coming into the Broncos territory here. But now just 2:43 to go in regulation. Game 3 of this best-of-7 Eastern Conference final goes Tuesday night in Calgary at the Pengrowth Saddledome. Note the start time. The WHL Insider on the Eagle 94.1 will kick things off at 7:30. Face-off from Cowtown goes at 8 o'clock. Twardek against Beachy in the face-off circle. Twardek pushes it to the near corner. White will bring it behind his own net and have a chance to see some space up his own boards. Touch a pass up the left wing. Twardek didn't race after it. He'll go off for a change instead. Siegel back deep in his own zone for Calgary. Floats it far boards to Sarich. Backhands it behind his own net, and Siegel will regroup. 2:22 to go here in the third. Calgary trailing Swift Current by a goal. Siegel out of his own zone. Headman pass, misses Fussy. Great break for the Broncos, who are going to touch the puck up for icing. And Rome will be the one that blows play dead. And Calgary, who has done a great job, at least in the first two periods, of some fantastic headman passes, been a little bit snake bit doing that here in the third.
Their last 3 passes, they're trying to get out of their own zone. They've been called for icing, and that puts them back about 180 feet of what they want to accomplish. So that faceoff moves deep down into Calgary territory. Sebastian LaPlante right to his right side, and back-to-back solid games for the goaltender from Calgary tonight.
Draw to the right side of LaPlante. Twardek again against Beachy. They've taken 4 straight draws against one another. Again, it's stuck in skates. It's pushed to the far corner. Sarich collects. Backhands it off the wall. Twardek intercepts. Twardek on the far corner boards, looking for Tim Smith. Tim trying to get away from traffic, just backhanded it to the end boards. Andres and Boychuk go after it. Boychuk moves it behind his own net, and Beachy collects. Scoops it up the near boards to Fussy, and Calgary moves it out of their own zone to center. Boychuk dumps it in the Broncos end. Not very deep, as Smith will fire it back into the Calgary end. 1:45 to go here in regulation. Broncos 3, Hitmen 2. Boychuk in his own zone. We'll leave it for Sarich. Touch pass in front of the Hitmen bench to Beachy. Pass up the middle, found Fussy. Couldn't gain the Broncos zone as Tim Smith's able to chip it through center. Boychuk from well out slaps it right in on goal. Ford will steer it aside. Cherney knocks it up his own glass, and this will roll past everybody back to the Calgary end. Sarich nearly gives it away and then does to Hebert to the right wall. No one was helping him as the Broncos were making changes. So just put it behind the net. Morrison to his near boards for Sarich. Back to Morrison up ice. Schustrom takes the pass, and now LaPlante's off to the bench for the extra attacker. Hitmen dump it in deep. White golfs it on a backhand, free to center ice. Calgary will regroup to the neutral zone. Rob Smith dumps it in deep. Puck rolls in behind the net of Ford to the far boards to Jaffrey. Can't clear it out. Yes, it does come to center as we're into the final minute of play in this hockey game. Hitmen drive it back into the Broncos zone. Morrison left face-off circle, slap shot, wires it wide of the net. Puck off the far boards. Jaffrey will hack it off his wall. This will get down ice. 45 seconds to go here in regulation. Broncos knock a pass down at center. Twardek on a backhand will lightly tap it up ice, but Beachy will knock it down. He gave it away to Seibel. Puck bounces high through center. Davis drives it in deep. White finds it. Gives it away to Morrison. To the slot for Schustrom. Slap shot, whistles wide. Bubnik off to the far corner. Spins up the wall. Throwing it down low. Jaffrey knocks it down. Nathan Smith can't clear it out. Puck comes to the near boards. Twardek will find it. Drill it for the empty net. Will he find it? Yes, they score! 15.6 seconds to go. The captain Tordick ices game 2 for Swift Current.
Well, you know what? It was one of those desperation plays. Brent Tordick was just trying to ice it down. Those guys were tired out there. They wanted a whistle because Calgary was in their zone. And, hey, what's that on the other end of the ice? It's an empty net. And you know what? That puck was dead center right in the middle of the net from the own Broncos face-off circle. A 4-2 lead, and the Broncos are going to even up this series at a game apiece.
Brent Tordick with his first goal of the playoffs puts the Broncos up 4-2. It is an empty netter. More than likely will be an unassisted marker. Friesen will float it back in deep to the Calgary end. Rob Smith will go after it for the Hitmen, bring it behind his own net. Stopping behind his own goal as time's going to wind down. Smith from his own zone will fire it down ice, right in on goal of Ford. He'll knock it down. Time expires. Folks, that'll do it. The Swift Current Broncos have evened up this series at a game apiece, and we will be back at the Civic Center with a game 5 next week.
Oh, that's big. You know what? The Broncos had a 2-0 lead entering this period, and you had a sense that, you know what, with Calgary's 2 goals, they had the momentum. But give credit to the Broncos, Joe. They did not quit when it was 2-2. They came back on a big goal from Benny Andrus midway through the period. Then Brent Tordick, 17 seconds left, puts the icing on the cake with the empty netter, and the Broncos have even this series with a 4-2 solid effort tonight.
And whether you're listening to us cheering for the Broncos or for the Hitmen, no doubt about what we can say on this. It was a very entertaining hockey game, and both teams can be satisfied with the effort they put out tonight. We're tied at 1 in this series, going back to the Saddle Domes.